things we've got on our plate. We've got some investigative results. We've got some investigative results. We've got too many things for you. And so it's just something great to say. Good evening to you. Welcome to the show. Issues of today, right here on Voice of Liberia. We want to say thank you for always joining us. As a matter of fact, we converge during this time to talk about the issues that matter to our country, giving you Liberians the opportunity so that you can speak on critical national issues, by the way. And it's something you don't want to miss all the time, getting close to your radio. Tonight, we here again, and we're going to take you up to 9 o'clock. Too many things to do. And the man, Emmanuel Davis, who gave us a lineup of what we're going to be doing today on the show. Emmanuel, good evening.
Good evening to you, Siku, and the folks listening to us this evening. We want to say thanks again for joining us as we talk Liberia, as we talk Liberians, and of course, the rest of the world. We know that Nigeria goes to election next month, as Liberia also will be going to the polls on the 10th of October 2023 with 259 days to go. We like to say, let's keep the peace alive, making sure that Mama Liberia lives in peace. Again, good evening. My name is Emmanuel. Like Siku said, we are teaming up to talk about some national issues. Well, shortly we will start our studio discussion after the studio chat that runs up to later. We will bring about this company called Mensa Investment Liberia. You remember the day before yesterday, we were here talking about Mensa. And of course, Seku and we have some information as well today on that company to provide for you. So keep listening. It runs up to 7. We will try to find time between time to give you the opportunity to call us and join the discussion. I was just clearing my throat.
Did I ask you? As if to say I asked you something, though.
So at 7 o'clock, what do we do? What do we have on our plate 7? We will be going to the counties to speak with some, direct representatives of the president in those counties. 3 counties we decided to stop in this evening. Lofa County Superintendent will be live on the line. He's William Tamakamba. He's the superintendent of Lofa County. Is Lofa still the breadbasket of Liberia?
He's going to be telling us.
Probably we could ask Frank Lobo and the other guys, whether or Momo Saros,
or we add
Koji,
Jeff.
Jefferson Koji.
Should we say believe it?
I don't think Lofa still, bears that title, the breadbasket of Liberia. We will also go to Bon County. Before reaching to Lofa, you have to pass through Bon County. So we will also make a stop in Bon County to speak with Superintendent Esther Walker. From there, we go to the port city of Buchanan, Grand Bassa County to speak to UFO Superintendent Janje Bape. After speaking with those superintendents, our correspondents are there or local journalists are based in those counties. We will also call them to verify some of the information, if not all, because at times it is not possible to cut across the county to visit all of the districts in the county by the journalists in those counties. So we will try as much as possible some of the most visible projects that will be spoken of by those superintendents in Bon County, Grand Bassa, and Lofa as well will be trying to verify. On the flip side of that time, at 8 o'clock, who do we have as our guest on the final segment of the program? We will have David Collet, Assistant Minister for Technical Services at the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs, and Tourism. He will join us in studio to talk about some national issues, what so far we can say as it relates to government performance. What are some of the good things, some of the good works government continues to do, and as well some of those challenges, the way forward. We could also talk about, the upcoming final State of the Nation address that will be delivered by President George. We are on the fourth working Monday, which happens to be the 30th of January 2023. So he will be telling us and also cataloging some of the reasons why Liberians should go to the polls and elect President George Weah for a second term.
And
So that is the lineup.
The good thing about it, like you said, on Monday, which is next week, we encourage you to listen. Voice of Liberia, we will be there at the Capitol building. We've started to build the stage where we're going to be having our live broadcast, where we're going to bring you all from the Capitol building, from the chambers, the joint chambers. And let me tell you, the last time when we were having a conversation, I said the president will not have a seat. And you say, "Oh, the president." So you want to tell me sorry?
I didn't say. Maybe
you said the president will go to the speaker's office.
Maybe you misconstrued me that day. The president doesn't just disembark. Let's leave it as it is. But I'm telling you what I do know.
I beg you,
but
man.
Honestly, that is what I do know. The president is escorted by the sergeant at arm when the time
the president
reaches
goes
at 2 o'clock to address the nation.
Well, let me tell you how it works. The president goes.
Are we good on internet? I know you will speak to that. Are we good on internet?
We good.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so the president goes to the Capitol building on Monday, and when he arrived, there's no seat for the president. He goes directly to the joint chamber where he's going to be welcomed by lawmakers on the committee of the executive. They will take him, invite him, and he goes directly to where he's expected to speak. And so he addresses the nation, though.
Okay.
So, okay. But that is it. Like my colleague said, we're going to take you up to 9 o'clock. We've been able to give you the lineup. Fellow Liberians, on the segments of the show, like today, we're going to be speaking with superintendents at 7 o'clock to know about developments in the counties. Some of the counties we're going to be speaking to the superintendents about. And then we'll also talk to our correspondents and also journalists in some of the counties like we've started. But on the segment of our housekeeping, we're going to make use of it as to inform the Liberian people about some investigative issues we've carried out, some investigative issues we've done. And today, let me say this, and I want to say it very clear. We are live on the television. We are live on the radio. And Councillor Sese is at liberty. He's a councillor. He's a legal person. He's at liberty to sue us. He wants to sue us for 1 million because that's the thing the lawyers can do, to scare journalists, to intimidate people. But we're not afraid. We are not above the laws of Liberia, but we also not going to sit and allow people to intimidate us. You must be kidding or dreaming about it. No matter who you are, no lawyer business. We respect people, but we speak the truth to whosoever. And today we're going to discuss Mensa Investment Company. Let me remind the Liberian people tonight. Mr. President said this. And recently, the representative of District 8, I hope the producer or the guys from the newsroom will please help out with that audio where Representative Akaras Gray said they will not be giving concession to any black bag concession, near people that are claiming to be to be investors. And it brings us to this point where we will let you understand People come in Liberia. We've been calling for investors, which we think it is very important to the growth and development of Liberia. And the government of Liberia has never closed her doors to investors in this country. In fact, this government has done almost everything to give an enabling environment to those of the people that call themselves investors. So that means things that you will find difficulties in doing as to give you the leverage to invest in Liberia, it has been curtailed based on what the president wants to achieve in terms of investment in Liberia. So, meaning there are lots of things that this government has created and create the environment so as to give investors the opportunity to come and invest in Liberia, where there will be no bureaucracy, there will be no things that will give you that kind of problems in terms of investing. The government has played her part. And it is on you that call yourself investors. Mr. President, on one of his speeches, he said, and I quote, Liberia is open for investment, but not investors that will come, in my word, to add on to what the president said, enrich themselves at the detriment of the people. What that means, people will come and say, oh yeah, they want to invest and they want to use the country to get what they've not been able to invest. It is what Mensa Investment Liberia Limited is doing. We have the article of incorporation of Mensa Investment Incorporated. We have the passport copies of the quote-unquote people that call themselves investors. We gave you what we do because we just have the copy. We will put our station logo on it and we'll have it posted on social media.
I think we can do that this evening.
Very good. And this is what we are saying. I challenge Councillor say 100 times 100.
That's a huge number.
Yes. 100. Listen, I've been saying this, and this is where I frown on people. I'm not one of the journalists that you intimidate with quote. I've been sued in this country for more than 1 million, 2 million. Even the very same people that sue me, they cannot afford that money to sue me for. I challenge Councillor say 100 times. You like it, you should sue Vosa Liberia as an institution. You should sue me as an individual. You should sue this man as an individual. And you do all the attachments. We will defend ourselves. And the only thing we will pray for, let the court give us the time to, produce the pieces of evidence.
To adduce the evidence.
So that everything we're saying on this radio, these lawyers are the problems making the foreigners to do what they're doing in our country. Mensa Investment Liberia Limited. For those of you that didn't listen, when we started the conversation the very first day, this is the article of incorporation of Mensa. I want to go to the business plan for those of the people that didn't listen, so that they will get the detailed information about what they submitted to the government of Liberia, meaning the National Investment Commission. Fellow Liberians, Mensa submitted a business plan to the National Investment Commission, informing them that they want to come and produce few things, and asked the government of Liberia through the National Investment Commission for an investment incentive. Yes, yes, the document for those of you watching. This is, you see, that is it, right? You see it, they say Mensa Investment Liberia Business Plan. This is the business plan they submitted. They said, submitted to National Investment Commission with the address of NRC. It is now we as journalists saying this. They submitted this thing on the 10th March 2022. And you have a long document here. In fact, today, we will tell you what they said they were to produce, that they requested the investment incentive. And also, my colleague will go and tell you the salary structure, part of that own document, because it's a whole big document. We can't finish all today. But there are a few things we captured. This company, you have three names. Namely, you have Mohammed Ahmed Isadin. He says he's a citizen of Zimbabwe. He has 33.33% share. Yes, said fellow Liberians. For those of you watching, we will not say anything if we don't prove it. And we challenge councillors, say 100 times 100 to sue us. And I want when that man sue us, let us go appear in court. So that the people can know that when journalists are saying, people like us, we don't say things because we want to say them. Mohammed Ahmed Isadin got 33.33% share. You got Nassim Isadin. He said he's a Gambian citizen. He has 33.33% share. You got Ali Isadin, Gambian citizen. According to him, he has 33.33% share. Let us go to the article of incorporation to verify this information. The article of incorporation of the business, let us go to it. Everything we will say to you, we have facts. The article of incorporation of Mensa Investment Incorporated. Yes, it. Let us go to the shares. Okay, yes, it. Yes, the article of incorporation, portion of the article of incorporation. Yes, it. Yeah, other names. We want to confirm that document is submitted to tell you if that document is legitimate of what is submitted. So the article of incorporation will tell you the number of shares they have.
And we will also post, like we said, their various passports to for you to see and know exactly what we're talking.
Very good, Emmanuel. So on the article of incorporation, it says Mohammed Ahmed Isadin, Mensa Investment Liberia Limited. He has 33.3% share. You got Nassim Isadin, Mensa Investments Liberia Limited, got 33.33% share. Then you got Ali Isadin, Mensa Investment Liberia Limited, got 33.33% share. What that means, the business plan document we read, it is a legitimate document that is sent to the National Investment Commission, telling the National Investment Commission that we want you to give us this XYZ. You know the addresses they put there for the three of them. They put Vatam, Bujo, Island, Monrovia, Liberia. Vatam, Bujo, Island, Monrovia, Liberia. Vatam, Bujo, Island, Monrovia, Liberia. But we'll tell you some things. You need to listen. So this is the article of incorporation, right? Then we move ahead. In their business plan, fellow Liberians, that they asked the government of Liberia to give them incentive. Because when you are investing and you tell the government that you want to invest certain amount of money, it is the National Investment Commission that has the sole authority. The sole authority to what? Work along with the relevant government institutions, where you have the finance ministry, you have the LRA, in extension, I think maybe the Minister of Justice, right? to have a legal oversight. And then when it meets this the standard approval of the institutions involved, then they gave you incentive. In the incentive agreement, some of the things the guys were asking for, that all the materials in the document here, right? Let us go to the document. Let's read the document. We want to go to the portion that talks about it, so that the people that are listening will know exactly what we are saying. We're not saying things because we want to say them. So the requested part of the request they made to the government through the National Investment Commission, that the government should give them an incentive agreement or investment incentive that will allow them to bring in materials that they will not pay for at the free port of Monrovia. So when these materials come in the country,
100% of everything,
100%, everything they will do,
no import tariff,
nothing.
I'm trying to locate it. What page are we on?
You understand me, right? So you need to go to that place so that you can read it to the Liberian people. It's an investment incentive request. Okay, let's hear this here. In an effort to successfully strive, Mensa Investment Liberia Limited request from the government of Liberia through the National Investment Commission the following incentives. Number one, yes, it, my brother. Number one, read it from my phone. Go ahead from here, so we do it faster. No time.
Okay.
Go ahead. Number one, what is it they're requesting? They requested 6 different incentives from the government of Liberia.
Okay,
listen.
Let me just go right ahead. Number one, 100% duty exemption on the importation of machinery or equipment, including generators and vehicles essential for the operation of the project for a period of 3 years. That was the first one. Number two, 100% duty exemption on the importation of raw and packaging materials for the operations of the project for the period of 3 years. Number three, 100% duty exemption on the importation of fuel and lubricants for a period of 3 years. Number four, 100% duty exemption on the importation of all related capital spare parts for the period of 3 years. Number five, tax exemption on GST and corporate income tax for the period of 3 years. Number six, finally, preferential tariff for electricity when available.
You see it?
So those are the 6 requests made to the government of Liberia, and I believe as they operate, those requests were granted.
Okay, very good, right? No, they gave them the
the incentives,
the incentive agreement. No,
I know,
the government did not do anything wrong. I want you people to get it. I want you people to get this. The government did not do anything wrong to give investment incentives.
No.
The reason why governments would do such to encourage you to invest. They said they were investing 4-point-something million.
That's a huge
so
amount.
Part of it, their document they presented to the government, they told the government, they said, when you give us the investment incentive, here are the materials we're going to be producing. Here's what we're going to be doing. They said to the government through this of that document that the company is expected to produce the following variety of roofing sheets. Number one, which is A, galvanized roofing sheet. Number two, which is B, aloe/ordinary. Number three, which is C, aloe/long span. Number four, which is D, deformed bars. Number five, which is E, nails. Number six, which is F, designed flat bars. Number seven, which is G, C, channels, perlu. So meaning all of what they say here, you want to go to the salary issue, all of what they say here, there is nothing in this document unless they tell us that they had different arrangement with the government out of any written documentation that gave them the right. We are not saying the company is illegitimate. They're not legitimate. No, they had the article of incorporation. They submitted the business plan, but they lie. Ali Isadine is not a Gambian citizen. But the passport in our possession, he's from Lebanon.
Lebanon.
He's a Lebanese.
And one of them said, he was born in Liberia.
And then Muhammad Ahmed Isadine, he has a passport of Zambia, but in that passport, he told the people he was born in Liberia. We have the passport in our possession.
But yet
we said it to
Lebanon.
you on the radio. You thought we were lying. We say, oh, we will get these people passports. We got them. And you think, say, now, it brings us to a point about some other allegations. But let us deal with this. Then we go to the passports and all the other false informations they gave. So, they asked the government of Liberia. The government gave them it. You know what they're doing now? Here are documents of materials they've brought in the country. Fellow Liberians, for those of you watching, instead of the people to produce what they told the government they will produce, you see the things they bring in the country? You see these things? They use it. They use it to produce tea raw. And they're producing tea raw. Are you understanding me? So what happens? They will bring the materials. They don't pay taxes for it. They're defrauding the government. And they produce the steel raw and sell the steel raws and make profit out of it. And the government is allowing them to bring the materials to produce the steel raw free. And the government stands to benefit nothing.
Without the knowledge of the government.
And you get the lawyer who is a Liberian. He enjoys them to do it. And he feels he can intimidate people like us. And we're caught. You must be daydreaming, killing yourself. Because we're ready for you anytime, 100 times 100 to take us to court. We will defend ourselves. This is an independent and a private run radio station. We can defend ourselves anywhere. We will not come on radio and say things about you and we don't have fights. Now, this is what they're doing. And one of our colleagues who has been with us on this investigation, Alfred Tukpa, will join us on the line. You listen to his own account. Let me give you the information from the passport.
And whilst we're making effort to join Alfred Tukpa, we already have the communication here, the voice recording between you and one of the
very good
is already here.
So listen, let me explain this. Fellow Liberians, the profession calls for getting all sides of a story. When we investigated this institution and know that they are into fraudulent mood, what did we do? We established contact with one of the so-called owners by the name of Muhammad Ahmed Isadine. You listen. Some of you, you don't know the difficulties we go through to bring out some of the hidden informations, things against our country. We went to the office and there's somebody got there, the numbers they have. You don't even see it, the numbers they have there. They give you ring. Luckily for us, someone gave us that direct number. Y'all listen. Let us play, let the Liberian people listen. What Muhammad Isadine said.
Good morning, Mr. Muhammad Ahmed Isadine.
Good morning.
Okay, I'm calling you from Voice of Liberia. I'm the CEO and owner of Voice of Liberia. I said, how you doing, sir?
I'm okay.
Okay. Yes, I just passed back at a short call where you have one of your offices to talk to you concerning some investigations I've conducted. And I thought to get your side because, as journalists, it's always good to get all sides of a story concerning Mensa investment.
Excellent. Let me give you a number to my lawyer. I will call you. Yeah.
No, but I talked to your lawyer. He said something different. I'm not carrying you to court. I'm a journalist. I'm calling you to find out certain things I find out about your institution.
He knows everything. He knows.
Oh, you the owner? You one of the owners? You don't know?
I'm not there actually. That's why I have people.
You know what?
I'm not always there.
No, but the documents, your names, three of your names are on it.
Okay, let me just give the lawyer. Let him call you. You
No,
talk to him already?
I've spoken to him and he gave his own side.
Excellent. What's your name?
My name is Sekou Sharif.
Second?
Sekou Sharif. My name is Sekou Sharif. And I think I've done due diligence coming to you.
Okay. That's your number, right?
This is my number, but can you speak to me on the issue,
Excellent. Let him
please?
call you now.
Can you speak to me on the issues?
Anything you want, just talk to him, okay?
So anything he says to me is the final, right? It is your side, right?
Anything you want, you just talk to him.
That's what I'm saying. Anything he says, it is your side of the company, right?
Just talk to him.
That's what I'm saying. Anything he says, it is your side of the company, right?
You see what he did? The man cut off the call.
Yes.
So what did we do? What did we do? Here's the message we sent the counselor of Mohammed Ahmed Isadin and the counselor for Mesa Investment. I don't know what you call them. I said, good day, Counselor Sese. I said, I've spoken to you concerning Mohammed Ahmed Isadin, Nassim Isadin, and Ali Isadin, owners of Mensa Investment Liberia Limited, of their alleged actions of defrauding government of needed taxes. Parentheses open, revenue, it closes. According to you, Councillor Sese, they are your clients, and I requested that you kindly share with me the government documents that gave them the authority to produce the roll, but it has not been done up to date. According to our investigation launched and documents obtained during said process, Mensa Investment Business Plan submitted to the National Investment Commission dated March 10, 2022, saying they will be involved in the production of the following roofing sheets: Governor's roofing sheet, Aloe Ordinary, Aloe Lance Pram, deformed bars, nails, design flat bars, C channels, Palo. But instead, they are allegedly producing steel rod, something that is far from what they submitted as the business plan to the National Investment Commission. I spoke with Mr. Mohammed Ahmed Isadin, one of the owners of the company, and I was able to have him on record, and he informed me that his lawyer, Councillor Sese, will call me to give his company side of the information. Let this message serve as an official request to you as their lawyer to kindly provide the company's side of the below issues. One, kindly provide documents that the government that gave the company the right to produce T-Raw. Two, as the Freedom of Information Act of Liberia allows journalists to have access to public documents, I request you to share with me the original business plan of the company. Three, kindly share with us documents to show how the company has been rightfully paying government needed taxes. Parentheses open, revenue closes. We will appreciate were you to share with us those documents so as to get the company's side. Thanks, Mr. Sekou Sharif, CEO, Voice of Liberia, 104.1. And Councillor Sese received the message on his WhatsApp number. He has the message, the two lines are in blue. If we tell you that Councillor Sese responded to us, then you guys were there when we launched the investigation. So let me go to the passports. We don't say anything that we don't have fights. On the business plan they submitted, I want you to go to the business plan, because when I call in the passport things, let the people know how they lied. We will not let anything go unnoticed in this country. We will not just call their names on the passport. We'll call the passport numbers and we'll tell you when the passport expired and everything. All the necessary information on the passport, everything. We have the passport copy here. So we go to Mohammed Ahmed Isadin. Is it that he has a passport bearing Zimbabwe, certainly. We're seeing it here. The passport in our possession for Mohammed Ahmed Isadin says Republic of Zimbabwe. The passport number is FN 345926. That's the passport number. And it says Isadin Mohammed Ahmed. Nationality, it says Zimbabwe. Then the man told the people in Zimbabwe that he was born in Liberia. So he by birth, and because then mini Liberia is his first country of citizenship, right?
Yeah, so he turned 18.
He's a citizen of Liberia
by birth.
So we also want we also want the lawyer, the counselor says, hey, let it show us the birth certificate of Mohammed Ahmed Isadin. Because he told the people, let me tell you what the guys can do. Let me just explain this. We don't have facts as to them being terrorists, but it is alleged that they are. You know what the terrorists do? They hide their original identity. So you cannot trace them to know where they've come from. So they hide their original identity, call countries names that people don't focus on when it comes to,
terroristic.
When you call Liberia, nobody will tell you, say, Liberia, you got terrorists in Liberia, and all of that, all the kinds of things. But you all know that Isadin is from Lebanon. Listen, they said there are 3 brothers, and this brother said he was born in Liberia. He has a passport, and this passport, let me see, the expiring date is it expired already. And then it is a businessman. This is Mohammed Ahmed Isadin passport. Let's go to the next person here. This is Ali Isadin. Ali Isadin, on the document he presented to the National Investment Commission, he told the National Investment Commission that he's a what? He's a
Zimbabwean.
No, he's from Gambia.
Okay.
He's a Gambian citizen, right? Yeah, there is the passport of Ali Isadin. It says LR, that the passport number 2017068, the passport number, and their passport will expire 2031.
Wow.
And his nationality is Lebanese. The date of birth, the 05, which is the 5th month, 1978. When this passport was issued, it was issued in 2021. This man said to the people here that he's a Gambian citizen. And here is his passport.
Passport appearing now with another nationality, a Lebanese.
I'm saying this, and let us take the call. Hope Alfred can join us now. He has been on this investigation, and we'll continue to talk about this thing. Let us take that call. That should be Alfred Topa, a Liberian journalist. He's one of the investigative journalists. Alfred, good evening. Oh, sorry. Good evening. Yes, Alfred. We great. Hope you're doing same.
Oh yeah, I'm okay. I've been following the show religiously, and I think you guys are proceeding expeditiously well. But Sekou, let me just make a few points because I'm part of this investigative team.
Certainly.
That is very looking into the issue of tax evasion. Under our law, tax evasion is criminal. Misrepresentation of personalities is also criminal. You know, when people go to take a passport, you swear oath. And when you lie, it becomes perjury. You can be prosecuted criminally for your action because the passport you took, you swore oath to obtain a passport. And I think with these misrepresentation, this should draw the relevant security agency of the government of Liberia to make sure that these guys are arrested and formally prosecuted. But that's one of the issues. Let me go to the core issue of the discussion. Seco, Mensa Investment Liberia Limited is a handbag, it's a shelf company that was established. Look at the establishment date of that company. Look at the business registration. Also look at the business model that they presented to the NIC.
True.
I think the government of Liberia, I would say they will take some responsibility for this because they didn't do proper due diligence to ascertain the investment portfolio of this company before granting them the amount in investment incentives. This is the first time in the history of Liberia for an investor to apply for investment incentive and ask for duty-free on the importation of fuel oil. Because looking at investment, their business plan, they are asking the government of Liberia to give them duty-free to import fuel.
Yeah, and lubricants.
For the usage, lubricant for the usage of their operational investment bank. And second, we were part of the first team of journalists that went to the investment park. If you go to the investment park and see where the guys are, where their office is housed, and the so-called $4 million investment, it's ludicrous.
Certainly. We have pictures of it.
Yeah, we got pictures. We were opportune to have entered US.
So
we capture pictures, and those pictures will be made available on the internet. More besides that, there is a protective tariff on the importation of steel raw because there is already an existing company in Liberia that is producing steel raw. So what these guys have been doing all the period, they acquired the investment portfolio to produce governance in order. But now they have mischaracterized readdressed the importation of what they bring in the company under a so-called nomenclature called DBAR. That DBAR is the equipment or whatsoever that will be used to procure or manufacture these, the nail, the galvanizing and order. Whereas they are importing already finished steel raw.
Yes, we have pictures of all.
We got all the pictures. They got bringing huge quantity of steel raw every month.
And we have the documents where they can bring in all these things, the continuous and everything, the learning stuff, and all we have it.
All right, so they are defrauding the government in thousands, if not millions of dollars in taxes. You got to just count. They already have an investment incentive that gave them duty-free. So maybe if the cost value of a container will be around $150,000, they get paid $2,000, considering the fact that they got an incentive and they got leverage on duty-free, and they bring in those steel rods. They want to take it to their warehouse at the industrial park, straighten it up, and put it back on the market. And I think I'm also being informed that the civil society group attention has also been drawn to the case that they've written the commissioner of the LRA, Thomas O'Neill. Thomas O'Neill needs to take serious this investigation because if he's not careful, this will also draw his legs deeper into this scandal. Because this is a big criminal syndicate on the part of 3 core Lebanese nationals who have stolen identity from different African countries. All right, misled authorities of the government of Liberia who need to be able to maximize profit at the detriment of the already impoverished Liberians.
Certainly.
I think this is absolutely wrong. This is criminal. And second, let me say thank you for your level of investigative skills in journalism you have applied to this investigation. And I think the relevant agency of government should now be prepared to move on move on Mensa investment because look at their other store. Their address are Bata. They don't carry any emblem or anything that has to do with Mensa.
They have all their identities.
Yeah, shortcut.
Yeah.
Who know about shortcut?
Shortcut.
I don't think this is called shortcut. We also need to look into the father shortcut. You also. So this is a serious thing. I think we all hail investment. We all, Liberia as a country, the third world country, struggling after 14 years of civil dividends. We would like for investors to come, but now those shells companies and those criminals who just come with misrepresentation. And let me send a caveat to that so-called council CC.
They may want to sue all. I was letting you sue all.
Yeah, council CC is an intellectual imp and a legal imp. We're not going to pay him no ears. If he thinks he has all it takes, let him sue us.
Yes.
We are legally operating under the ambience of the Republic of Liberia. We can sue and also be sued.
So,
no matter of low scheme chicanery will scare us or deter us by following this matter to its logical conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
And let me say thank you, Sekou. I'm following the show.
Okay.
Every time I have point, I will call you
Thank you.
make my parking. The era now needs to move in quick commercial investment. There are fewer warehouses around the country.
Mm-hmm.
I'm being told that the last consignment they brought in this few days, they were offloading on the Hawassi Highway.
Yes, yeah, they were not doing it. Yes. Mm-hmm.
So they know, you got to know eyes are on their spot are the investment, the investment park, and also their store in Vata. They're now moving to other localities to be able to offload their containers straight in the seawall and put it right back on the market, thereby making thousands of dollars at the expense of the suffering.
We're not paying any dime for it. Thank you.
We're not paying anything.
Yeah.
They're not paying anything, absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you, Alfred. He's a Liberian journalist, investigative journalist, who also, now you listen, team of journalists, we investigated this entire thing. We have pictures, right? We have documents, everything we're saying. Let's go to the lines. Nobody will be afraid of the so-called team, their lawyers and everything. Go to court. We will go there. 0770-907-907-0880-907-907. Good evening. Good evening.
Hello?
Yeah, good evening. You live.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you guys will take 0770-907-907. We're going to take a few calls and then we'll go to the next segment where we're going to talk to superintendents. Let's take the very first person. Good evening.
Good evening, Sekou.
Good evening, sir. Let's hear you.
I'm Mr. Clemens. I'm calling from Banazzo.
Okay, it's good to get you. Let's hear you.
Great job you are doing for the people actually. I said the radio station. Listening to it. Take my whole evening hour. What you are doing is very good. But I think you try to link your investigation mostly to our Liberian. Because these people they are not doing this by themselves. They are doing it with the cohesion of people in our country that are doing this. They are facilitating these things, Sekou. Go down behind them too, as well as behind the company, be behind our people. Will expose them, get as you are exposing the guys.
Sure.
That will help us. Thank you very much.
Certainly.
Expose them, get as you are exposing the record.
Thank you.
I mean the details.
Okay, thank you. Let's take this other person on the line. Hello.
Good evening, Sekou.
Yeah, good evening. Go ahead.
This is exclusive and I call from uptown curiosity. I'd like to take hats off to you guys, Liberian journalists who are going beyond surface to investigate issues that bother on the well-being of Liberia and the Liberian economy. And I also want to take us off to my friend and brother for joining you guys in the effort to establish operation of these Lebanese guys who are cheating or defrauding the government of new resources. You see, what is happening in the country is that most of these people they come under the aegis of investment. They come with a huge package that is some just for the have the ingredients that are.
Okay, sorry, you're coming very bad. Who you can do adjustment. Let's take a few calls. Hello.
Hello.
Good evening.
Hello.
Good evening. You live. Go ahead. Oh, but that person is like that different thing the person doing. Let's take another person on 0770-907-907-907-907-907-0880-907-907. Where are our producers? Why is it this not coming on? This is not
I hope it is charged
to have it, but it should be all the time. Okay, so the calls are coming, but let's hold the calls. Yes. Okay, let's just take the person. Hello. Okay, too bad. Let's hold the calls a little bit. Listen, sometimes when these things come up, it is not about an individual. From the time this scheme has been running, do you know how much Liberia as a country and the government itself, we've lost all to this entire thing? Sometimes we complain, we say, oh, the government now want to build a road, the government now want to do this. Hello? These are things that give the government money. Hello?
Yeah, Sekou, how you doing, man?
Go ahead. I'm doing great. And you?
I'm good. I'm still Sharif speaking from here at the Rock Hill.
Okay, it's good to get you. Let's hear you.
Man, I'm monitoring the show, and I want to applaud you guys for exposing this kind of wickedness in our country. And imagine you guys receive, tax free, and the steroid is very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
They have increased the prices of the steroid, and they got free tax waiver. This is completed wickedness, and this kind of thing needs to stop.
They're not even supposed to produce steroid, though.
Steroid is so expensive. They're not producing a thing yet, and they got to tax waiver, and then they increase the steroid. They are so wicked. This is wrong. Thank you guys for raising it. We stand with you guys on this, and we will talk into it. The government must ensure that these kind of things should stop in our country. It's wrong. It's criminal.
Okay,
so that's my input.
Thank you. Then you get one one counselor thinking that you will make all a free everything. Go me, I want tomorrow say we get the code document. And we'll go to that code there. The way you can do it sometimes. Nobody will be afraid. We'll go to that court. You'll go defend your clients, and we'll show to the court what we said and what we will defend.
And the program will still run.
Yes, and we'll still run it. You know, they can use their means when they go to court. Then they tell the court to let the radio station how to discuss the issue. You know, then they start to drag it and everything. We still use all the other means to deal with the issue. We got social media pages. We got all the means and everything to do it. Every day now, from today's date, every day we come, we'll talk something new about the people. Every day we'll come. And we'll tell you, people say, oh, we gave you people that passports, stuff and everything. We said it and we do it. This is how we're going to continue to investigate them.
We will do the posting this evening. Trust us. As soon as we place our logo on the various photos we are talking about, we will, because we want to take
responsibility of everything. So the lawyers will be in. You're not supposed to look for fights. You're not supposed. You're not supposed. Let's play his client voice. Then before we go to the line, this is what his client said when we contacted his client.
Good morning, Mr. Mohammed Ahmed Isadin. Good morning, Mr. Mohammed Ahmed Isadin.
Good morning.
Okay, I'm calling you from Voice of Liberia. I'm the CEO and owner of Voice of Liberia. So how you doing, sir?
I'm okay.
Okay. Yes, so I just passed back at a short call where you have one of your offices to talk to you concerning some investigations I've conducted. And I thought to get your side because, you know, as journalists, it's always good to get all sides of a story. Concerning Mensa investment.
Excellent. Let me give you a number to my lawyer. I will call you. Yeah.
No, but I talked to your lawyer. He said something different. I'm not carrying you to court. I'm a journalist. I'm calling you to find out certain things I find out about your institution.
But he knows everything. He knows.
Oh, you the owner? You one of the owners? You don't know?
I'm not there actually. That's why I have people.
You know what?
I'm not always there.
No, but the documents, your names, three of your names are on it.
Okay, let me just give the lawyer. Let him call you.
No.
You talked to him already?
I've spoken to him and he gave his own side.
What's your name?
My name is Sekou Sharif.
Sekou?
Sekou Sharif. My name is Sekou Sharif. And I think I've done due diligence coming to you.
Okay. That's your number, right?
This is my number. But can you speak to me on the issue, please?
Call you now.
Can you speak to me on the issues?
Anything you want, you just talk to him, okay?
So anything he says to me is the final, right? It is your side, right?
Anything you want, you just talk to him.
That's what I'm saying. Anything he says, it is your side of the company, right?
Just talk to him.
That's what I'm saying. Anything he says, it is your side of the company, right? Ahmed Isadin.
Good morning.
Okay, I'm calling you from Voice of Liberia. I'm the CEO and owner of Voice of Liberia. So how you doing, sir?
I'm okay.
Okay. Yes, I just passed back at a short call where you have one of your offices to talk to you concerning some investigations I've conducted. And I thought to get your side because, you know, as journalists, it's always good to get all sides of a story. Concerning Mensa investment.
Okay, so that is it. You listen to one of the owners. His name is Mohammed Ahmed Isadin, and he sent us to his lawyer. Every day we'll give you some information about them. Now, this is not about us. This is not about you, but this is about the country, not just an individual, right? We now want to take calls, but let's just take this last lucky caller. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Sherry.
Go ahead, let's hear you.
You use a word, I have spoken to him. Is it an English word? I've spoken to him. I have
spoken. Sometimes the people, I don't know.
You know one thing. Even this we don't want to deal with you actually, but let's say this. This is the Queen's language, okay? No one person has monopoly or absolute. I hope if he calls back, let's take him. Yes, I want to take him. No, because even if someone makes a mistake,
no, listen,
it is what's substantial in what you're trying to bring. We're not critiquing anyone here about the English grammar. You yourself, if I put you on this line for the first 1 minute, you made mistake. Why you can't tell you at least when I'm speaking Bassa or Pele, and then you critique me for speaking maybe they will
have something. They will have people that would do what. Let me see.
I think that is very irresponsible of him. Very, very irresponsible of him. As mature as he sounds.
Hello.
Okay,
so this is not even a real voice. I want you to listen. Easy. There's not a real voice. You know they have a system on the phone.
What's your name?
No, there's not a system on the phone.
What's your name?
What's
your name? What's your name? What's your name? What's your name, sir?
Call your name first.
What's your name?
Call your name.
What's your name, sir? You want to call your name?
Off the line.
No, he's on. What's your name, sir? No, we can't waste our time on this guy. So it tells you that is how it is. But we say thank you to you to sell your.
I hope he's not one of the operatives of the Isadines. You know, if you are a paid agent, chief,
you can't waste your time. You can't waste your time. So the next segment, we're going to go to superintendents across. We're going to speak with 3 superintendents. You can speak better English than we do here. you won't. Anyway, we understand when you're discussing some issues, you have people that will come and do these kinds of things.
That fellow is really irresponsible.
Do these things. But let's go ahead. Now we're going to go to the superintendents across Liberia. Mila, we're going to be speaking with the superintendent of Lofa County tonight. We'll go to the superintendent of Bon County and that of the superintendent of Grand Bassa. And we're going to focus on development and some other issues in the 3 counties we just named. We're going to be speaking to them. The very first area we're going to go is Lofa, where we're going to speak with Superintendent William Kamba.
I like the name from Lofa
William
County.
Kamba. Superintendent William Kamba. We're going to join him from Lofa County. So we can talk about what's happening in Lofa, and it is one of the many segments we've designed to have. Okay, so we go to another superintendent. Soup, when you get on the line, we need to tell you, we said you should have done all before this time. But let's go to Bon County and speak with Superintendent Esther Walker. And she's the superintendent of Bon County. We're going to speak with her to know what's happening in Bon County, looking at developments, looking at some other issues. Maybe sometime you want to talk about challenges about the local government there, what is it they've been faced with concerning what they've got to do for the people in that part of the country. And so Superintendent Esther Walker is the superintendent of Bon County. She joins us now from Banga, Bon County, and someone said, it's the center part of Liberia. She joins us now. Soup, you on the line, you live on the radio. We want to say good evening and thank you for joining us tonight.
Good evening, Voice of Liberia.
Soup, I know it is something very interesting. You want to tell us how did you spend the day today in Banga, Bon County? Soup, how did you spend the day? She's on the line though. You want us to do okay. Soup?
Thank you for all the blessing that we're receiving from God as a government and support from other partners. We are grateful and we are doing well.
Okay, grateful, and we all need to be grateful to Allah. Maybe some of the people will say Jesus, and that is the belief of individuals. Soup, it feels good to have you tonight on the line from Bond County. You want to tell us about development in the county? What are some of the developments ongoing in your county or has taken place?
First of all, I want to thank you to the excellent George Manuel. We are for the level of work. President we had took over in 2018. We came to work. He appointed us. We came to work. There are a lot of things. I said to you, people on the local road.
So you want to please, you want to do some adjustment. You're coming in very broken. We are barely hearing what you're saying.
Okay, let me just change my location small.
Yes, keep us on and you can just shift a little bit so we can have
you. Let me just get out small. Let me get out.
Okay,
will change.
Yeah, very good because
so a lot of people have important property on local road. And they are very disappointed in the past because, dusty road cannot show any color. Some people felt reluctant, say, I don't want to come back to my house. I will move to different place. I will move to Monrovia. But as I speak to you, today I will on a local road again. You cannot drive with P&D from Banga to the bridge.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow.
A reporter.
Hitting towards where?
You go into Lofa County, the border between Lofa and Bong is St. Paul.
Okay, that I know. I know that place actually.
Yeah. So you start a quota from right here, Lofa parking, the graveyard. You will see to the Lofa parking itself there are station structures because those structures were newly constructed structures when we did the mapping up for public well to take statistics for government to pay. So they were now in the first mapping up. So now they came back after we started doing payment. We also want to tell the president, thank you. He made available 5 months ago, 1,800,000 to pay the route from here to the water side. Yes, to pay people who their structure was broken down.
So meaning that there is no problem about those affected, as you can confirm to us.
Which one?
Those structures that you just mentioned, people that have the buildings and all these things.
From Lofa parking straight to St. Paul water side. Go to the route. When you cross the water, it's beyond town. Some structure were also damaged there.
Okay.
Because we had to clear the gate right away for the quota for the pavement or the road to go.
Okay.
And so government through President we were able to send that money. Minister of Public Works came and payment was done. Payment started. We went there. We did it with the dispersed the first check. There was videotaping. We took a lot of pictures. From there, they started their work.
Okay.
So Lofa parking, they have come. If you can't, you see plenty of structure that the roof.
Okay.
It just need to be knocked down now. So they will quota that particular place.
Okay.
So that the finishing touches there.
Okay.
But you can drive now from Lofa parking to the graveyard on quota that you reach the water side.
No dust.
No dust. The Chinese they have honoring program on the 20th for all of their staff, the people who are committed to the work that we have reached this far.
Okay.
We were the guest speaker for that day. They honor their staff.
Okay.
You see
that
staff
sounds good.
smiling with an envelope and a bag of rice.
Okay, that sounds good.
That's one.
Okay.
Then the Bond Technical College.
Bond Technical College has been in the news for long.
Unfinished building. Through the fast Saturday of the president again, there were 900,000 allotted to the school. As I speak to you, the contractors are there working to do completion.
Were you to give us percentage of how far they've gone? Where are we on the project?
I have to get to my project plan, but you know when I visit the site, the way I see it, they play the workshop that they only run out engineer, so I can't go into detail.
Okay, just give us or understanding of the look of it. You've visited the place, you've been briefed about how it is. Do you think we have how many more months for the completion?
The school were only using one side of the building because the other side was not finished. And so the contractors are working on the other side so that they will finish it, complete it. So the student, you can't be a student when you go to somewhere they dark. You got to be knocking your feet, you got to be looking for a place to put your feet. So hopefully when the contractor is finished, then we're talking real bomb technical story.
Okay.
Again, the maternal mortality hospital, Ibidoma. Ibidoma is very small now because we're doing inpatient, both male, female, and a baby. That's why we make the baby, but the baby father now joined there now. Everybody taking treatment together. They are making there. We got inpatient feeling. And 500,000 again was sent there. That's a boost for us as a citizen.
Okay.
And the big one, really that coming up. You know, the housing access, we got 2 places in Bon County. The engineers just talked to me that they want to get turn over. They want the lofa road when you go in telephone so the people will move into it. That's another boost. Mass and you own the using it when you come into Tarala. Then Cocoya Road. Then here was a pop. Cocoya Road. You know that road. I need to tell you about Cocoya Road. Cocoya Road now, when the president came last year, he asked probably where to do the assessment. He coming to pave Cocoya Road straight to St. John. That's the border between Grand Bazaar and Bon. And he made sure that he do the bridge, rehabilitate the bridge because the bridge is just someone that sees who bucket taking Caesar. And a car and a motorbike can go in the water. So it's risky.
Okay. So have you secured funding for that Cocoya Road you are talking about?
That's a project the president is doing as his project. President we are.
Okay.
That's the one he's coming to do now.
Okay.
That's his project.
Okay.
The Total Sanoye Road also is added there for the chip ceiling. The one you see to my office area there, you can walk on Kota to go to Fair, to go to the football field. Okay, that one. The thing is on the two to do it to the Sanoye Road.
All right.
Now that's a boost for the citizen. We just broke ground for the oxygen plant in Parala. Other counties, Grand Basso, Nima, Lofa, Grand Jude, Majibi, they can use our oxygen plant when it is completed.
All right.
That is in Parala. Then the testing center.
Before Madam Soup, before you can go ahead, what is the funding? What is the amount that will be used for this oxygen plant, and how big it will be to facilitate people coming from other counties? Remember, Bon County is central Liberia.
Yes. The oxygen plant. That's why I name counties that we benefit from it will not be only Bon County. You know, we had a Zoto Current Hospital, we had a Telewayan Hospital, we got Methodist Hospital in Ganta, then we got 3 other hospitals, the NAE, the E&M Jeremiah Kuhn Hospital is there, then another person building a hospital. So all of those people will be benefiting. So it's not just small Parawa, no. That's a bigger oxygen plant that Bon County will be having, but we got to serve other people. We can be selfish.
Okay.
In nearby counties. Under that program, there's a testing center that's supposed to be built.
Okay.
Through negotiation from the government, another partner scheme that want to build a testing center because we experienced viral before.
Okay.
And so we have to be very mindful now of the way we live with this viral thing. So that one we are making preparation. They only ask us to make available land, and they will do everything. As I speak to you, the yellow machine is on the Lofa Road to the educational complex. That project is, I tend to be corrected, it's around $3.5 million worth of project. If you send your reporter to go to Lofa Road, the machine is clearing the place.
Okay.
We make, as a county, we make available 13.5 acres of land to build a ministerial complex where you educational complex where you have the principal resident, the VO resident. You know, government have problem with teachers. When government send teachers, the citizens want rent. And the teachers not making much to take out the rent then before you see your family.
Okay.
So at least then we coming to have ministerial educational complex now. The east that part of their portion. So there are a lot of government is undertaking.
Okay.
We are proud, we are happy to talk about it. And there's new ones in a package coming. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag. As we go further in 2023, we'll talk about it. We are grateful to the president, to the government, and everybody, the legislative caucus, and eminent citizens. They also have to advise us.
Okay, Madam Soup, before we can take leave of you finally, there are information coming up from Bond County that the superintendent compound,
the superintendent compound and that of the presidential
palace. They're lying somewhere in the middle of the bush now. No one cares to take care of them.
It's not true that no one cares to take care of them. What happens is that if you give people contract, they sign a contract, and if you pass under the contract to go do different things there, person will feel you on the money there. And maybe they will have different feeling about you. The building was given as a contract, but the problem we have is that when Senator Yala was senator chairing the county sitting, there was not an engineer or a project planner who went ahead to do it, because I believe that since 1964 up to now, you won't expect any wire to be there good. So they didn't send anybody to go do assessment to come with the cost before money was allotted.
All right.
So he was presiding, he only allotted 50,000 to bond tax to the superintendent compound. When the contractors do all the things we put in the contract, the money cannot do it.
Okay, Madam Superintendent, thank you so much for speaking with us here at Voice of Liberia. Hope that we can find time to come to Bond County, you know, and
time we'll take you around.
That's good. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Madam Esther Walker is the superintendent of Central Most Liberia, Bond County. Thanks for joining us this evening. We will try to cross now to
Grand Bassa.
No, let's go back to
let's go to Grand Bassa. Lofa will be the last, you know. Let's go to Grand Bassa.
Don't keep the old man waiting. But let's see if we can get Janje Bape on the line, UFO superintendent of Grand Bassa County. I know there are information coming from Grand Bassa that Mr. Bape himself is contesting for the representative position in district number 2, wanting to unseat Honorable Mary Kawa. The line is trying to give me a signal that we will soon get in contact with Superintendent Bape of Grand Bassa County, the port city of Buchanan. Good evening again. This is Voice of Liberia, and the program you're listening to is Issues of Today with Sekou and Emmanuel, or with me, Emmanuel, and Sekou. I let myself So Janje is yet to pick his call.
And we try to establish so we can talk to him. Today we have 3 superintendents to talk to. Lofa, we've done with Bong. And so we're running out of time. We don't have more time. We're running out of time, so we need to have the conversations with our superintendents on this segment of updates from the superintendents across Liberia. So today we're going to talk to 3 of them. You will listen to them, and on the flip side, we will join our correspondents to find out about some of the things the superintendents are saying to us,
especially some of those major issues like the Banga Menikoma Road, all the way leading from Banga City to the breach device, Lofa, and of course, Bong counties. So, We are yet to get Superintendent Janje Bakwe on the line, so let's go to Lofa and try to connect. Maybe the papi doing something.
Yeah.
So we can talk to him quickly.
Yeah. So let's talk to Lofa County Superintendent, and then we will come back to Graham Bassett to talk to him as to us getting updates from Graham Bassett. What is it? So we go back to Lofa County, folks. If you're just joining us, issues of today on your radio. On this segment is the superintendent's chat, where we speak to superintendents to know about what's happening in their control areas. Mind you, they are the first contact persons, when you talk about counties and what's happening there. They're responsible, and so it is fair enough when you want to know what's happening in their counties to just call them. Yes, but the good thing about it also we've done, it is we'll speak to them, but what they will say to us is not something we're going to take 100% to say, oh yeah, then we go to our correspondents and talk to them and ask them about some of the things that we've heard from the superintendents of the counties. Okay, so we have we have the superintendent of Lofa County, Superintendent Willem Tamakamba. He joins us tonight. Sup, good evening, and where are you joining us from?
Well, I am very grateful indeed for the invite, and I'm joining you. Entering Monrovia 2 days ago. I've been bereaved.
Okay.
So I'm here.
Okay, but it's so good you can give us update. We extend our sympathy to you and the bereaved family.
Thank you so much, man.
Tell us
this is nature.
Okay, tell us about developments from Lofa County before you come into Monrovia. What are the developments been taking place in your county where you control?
Well, let me first of all, before I go further with mentioning the development, I might be very grateful, and let me applaud His Excellency, the President of the Republic. We know the situation of Lofa County, but despite all of those hurdles and tussles and misinterpretations, the President is still focused, and I want to thank him very much on behalf of the citizens of this county. Now, to the point of your question, what are the developments? I did not travel with the development into Montreal, but I traveled with the record and the tangibles that have been established. Well, let me first start with congratulating the President again, reiterating that congratulations are based on the answer given to the local people.
Okay. And what's that answer?
And that answer is the pavement of the road from Banga to Menekoma. We start from Banga, and today we are almost closing to phase 1 of that particular project.
Okay.
I'm not talking about the upgrading. The leveling has reached to Salaye, and then the pavement with Kota has reached the St. Paul Bridge. And by next week, I'm optimistic that it will be crossing St. Paul Bridge into Lofa County. That's the first and foremost.
Okay.
One of the major tangible. We're also looking to the Kahal electrification, which during the tour of the President last year, he broke ground, committing himself to providing electricity for the local citizens. And so that project is ongoing. The light poles have been planted. Almost 85-90% of the light poles have completed been planted in Bonjama City.
Okay.
And all the quarters, and it will be extended to Kolahun, of course, Foya. And then the electricity will be provided. That project might be dedicated between July to August of this year.
Okay.
As the President has promised the Lofen.
Okay.
We also have the 90% of the George Weah Peace Hall, President George Weah Peace Hall, constructed in Foya. And that Peace Hall, you can just compare that with that of the Pinsville City Hall. So it's almost replica of the one you see, except for the size and maybe the area.
Okay.
But it's carrying the same design. It will be dedicated very soon.
In Foya?
Yes, in Foya.
Okay.
Then we also have the pavement of streets in Foya. These are all under the stewardship of His Excellency, the President. Of course, the vice-gerent of the President, who happened to be the superintendent of the county, we have no doubt we are there placed in a position to make sure that the objectives of the President is met, or they are met to the expectation of our people. And we also want to mention to you that there are a lot of tangibles we mentioned. And let me just mention some of those tangibles. Under the stewardship of the President, and based on a request by the citizens of Foya District, we have almost every town in Foya District is benefiting from a town hall. Where the citizens amalgamate themselves to discuss common issues that affect their lives.
I have a trip. I have a trip to Foya next month. Maybe I can come and validate. Validate
and everything I'm mentioning to you, please take record and do do a follow up.
We are taking record.
Do a follow up everything that I mentioned to you. Then we come back to our capital city, which is Bonjama City. When we took over, there was this storm that continued to affect the administration building. Through our partners, the administration building is being overcast with concrete to avoid the heavy storm taking the roof all of the time. We have to go back, and so almost 65% of the building is completely cast with concrete. And that project has been completed and waiting dedication because it was supported by USAID. And so these are all. Then we have the water treatment plant, which we know in a very short time, that is also supported by USAID, and that project will be turned over to the Liberian government probably the early part of February next month. And that will be taking full control of the management of that water plant.
It's in Foya. It's in Foya of Vonjama.
No, it's in Bonjama, the capital. The capital of the county. We also, through our partner, we are rehabilitating or routine maintenance of the road that were built before. For over 20 years, that road has not been touched. So through our partner, that road in the county, which will carry almost 266.5 kilometers, routine maintenance that will be done to benefit our farm to market road. I mean, farmers coming, traveling with their commodities into the central part of the market, and there are marketplaces in the county. We want to also be happy to inform you that the TVX portion of being established as an extension of the Bonjama Model Lateral School, which is supported by USAID. That project is 100% has been used. The TVET is part of the extension of the Bonjama Model Lateral School. That is done. We also want to be happy to inform you that the TVET extension has been established at the Lofa County Newly University. The college, the community college, are being elevated to that of the university. And so that will completely remedize the difficulty of our children migrating from the interior and coming to Monrovia in search of higher education. So that will be offering a BSc degree.
That's good.
That's a tremendous move by the government.
That's a good news.
That's a very good news. That will help the parents that have completely, going through the difficulty of transporting their children to Monrovia. When you are in county, even the lodging business will be very easy for our students. And we want to be very grateful to the CEO who working alone. There are a number of high schools where the president has provided free tuition. We want to be very grateful. Lofa is not excluded in these kind of benefits that are provided by the national government through His Excellency, the President. We want to be very grateful to him.
Soup, we want to say thank you. And all the developments you've talked about, they are just many. I know there are other developments in the county. And today we're talking to you about developments. Maybe the other time we'll talk to you about challenges and some other issues in the county. We want to say thank you because we know if we gave you the time, someone said to me, the superintendent.
I will mention numerous of them.
Thank you.
All what we want to thank for to you is that we have the capacity, the ability to resolve a lot of issues. So what bring about most of the progress in these infrastructure area is the peace and stability we enjoy across the country.
Thank you.
Land conflict, we have been handling that peacefully. We know very well. We have been taking a lot of credit for that.
Okay.
We have been honored. And so we want to say thank you very much for accommodating me.
Thank you.
And we are available to provide you any necessary information as it relates to the activities within the county.
So we want to say thank you for you being very selfless, allowing us to talk to you, and together we can make it happen. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. He's the superintendent of Lofa County, you know, and
William Tambakamba.
I love the way he speaks. We go to
the old man again.
No, leave it. Don't carry that with the old man. Leave my old man. Okay, let's go. Let's go to Grand Bassa. I think the superintendent of Grand Bassa
was trying to reach out.
Yeah, try reaching out. Let's go back now to Grand Bassa, and then we call it a day on Grand Bassa. Then we'll go to our correspondents in the counties to talk to them about what the superintendents are saying to us in Monrovia about developments in the county. Are they truth, or they are saying or making up stories because they think that they are just the direct persons? Superintendent John D. Vapet joins us now from Grand Bassa County. Soup, we want to say good evening to you. We had one of your colleagues on the line from Grand Bassa County. From Lofa County. Good evening, Soup.
Good evening.
Okay, it is good to have you. Why is Grand Bassa tonight? Oh, we lost him. Hope that he's not still on his way to the county. You want to reconnect? Because he told me when he was making his way, he said, yes, he's going to do it. But so we want to do it to reconnect the superintendent of Grand Bassa. Now, fellow Liberians, you're listening to the superintendents. They are saying what they're saying. And we're going to do due diligence to speak with our correspondents to find out what they're saying to us, whether it's truth, whether it's not truth. We will not sit here to, but what we would do with the environment so that all the voices can be heard. And when we can have the soup now from Grand Bassa, we'll go to our correspondents. We'll go to some of the local journalists to talk to them.
I think the soup is calling on another number.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, this is John J. Backfire. The loser never getting harder on the highway.
Good to have you, sir.
Good to have you tonight. So, how is Grand Bassa, first of all?
Well, Grand Bassa is okay, and we give God the glory, and we appreciate him because he's the Alpha and Omega, and the first and the last. So, everything he do, we give him praises. So, we give God the glory for Grand Bassa County. Yeah, there have been some little issues, but the issues have been put under control because the police been working day and night. Grand Bassa is okay.
Okay, let's look at development. Today, we want to talk to you about development from Grand Bassa County. What can you say to us? You have thousands of people listening to you in and out of Liberia. What can you say about your county in which you control in terms of development?
Well, in terms of development, since we took over in 2018 to current, Bassa have gone through transformative development. In every length and breadth of Grand Bassa County, you can find tangible projects from social development fund, ranging from national government project in some part of Grand Bassa County. So I can say to you, even if I start from District Number 1, in District Number 1, we constructed the Commissioner Office of Residence in what they call Jacob Latetan across the Farmington River that border we in Margibi County. Can you imagine across that we were able to construct a project where we have to take instruments, steel, everything. And that project was constructed and dedicated to the people. We didn't stop there. In District Number 1, if you come into Orange Grove, as soon as you pass by Farmington River, if you enter Orange Grove, the first Commonwealth District in Grand Bassa County, we constructed a market. And mind you, most of these projects we constructed are projects that the people themselves requested for, because we normally go to county sitting. After county sitting, they will resolve on those projects they want. So we constructed the market being dedicated in District Number 1. If we move to District Number 1 on a compound, we did the extension and expansion of the administrative hall, where we hosted the president when he visited Grand Bassa County last year. They have been transformed because they were constructed since 1960. So we just modified it, created more office spaces, and we, in fact, had 3 bathrooms to it, modern bathroom with camo, everything installed in it, and then we changed all of the manual window glasses that they have. We modern the sliding window glasses, everything on it, and that project being dedicated as well.
Okay.
In the same District Number 1, we constructing administrative hall in Lawsville. in Lawsville. So Lawsville is one of the township in district number 1.
Okay.
It's under construction. You have gone like 40%. So development while like in district number 2, we are constructing a bridge that will be able to connect Grand Bassa and Bon County. That means you're using Wakatan, Pachu, fit into there and go back to Batara. That is a shorter route. So sometimes, like anytime this year we dedicate that bridge, you will not get people coming way to Kakata before going to Bon County. So this time now, you're going to pass through district number 2, Grand Bassa County, get to foot into it, and then you move to Batara. You can go to Banga right there. So it's a shorter route that people use it. In fact, I use it recent time, but we are connecting the bridge. We're building a modern bridge, concrete bridge.
How far has that project gone?
It have gone 60%, and because during the rainy season you have to slow down more project, and then we didn't get the social development fund last year. So now that the government is trying to release the social development funds, we're now going to complete the bridge, and then we'll have a smooth pathway to get to Bon County anytime. So you don't need to pass to Margibi County.
Okay.
In district number 2, again, we're constructing a clinic. In district number 2 divided into 2, A and B for administrative purposes. So based upon that, we are constructing a clinic, a 4-bedroom clinic that will be able to cater to the health needs of our people. So that is on construction. In the same district number 2B, we dedicated the commission residence and on the civil compound in district number 2B, and on the district number 2E, we constructing a market that have reached 70% and will soon be dedicated. So in Buchanan district, we're constructing the district office. When you go to county setting, the people agree to do these things at the county setting because they are the higher decision-making body. So based upon that, the result that project have been done under our leadership and our watchful eyes. We're able to work along with the Liberia Football Association and the Ministry of Youth and Sport to cap the MOU. Today, the stadium today spent almost 100 years ago. It just used to be a stadium with dust. But today, under the leadership of President George Manneh,
that's the Doris Williams
Sport page. Today, be refurbished. Now you can even have some international friendly matches there as well.
All right.
So it is good. It's going. In fact, they were able to construct an old folks home in Buchanan around the Own Your Own Bell. The new Buchanan community is being completed, and I know that she will dedicate that project this year. It didn't start at the long crowd have been in Grand Bassa County. Then we took over the community carry bridge. The president, in fact, will broke ground for it. The president have also instructed the Ministry of Public Works. They are starting work already. And the construction company who is doing that work is called Jupiter Construction Company. It's a Liberian own construction company. It's the guy who built the Timor Bridge. It's the guy who did the Dusa Bridge as well. So he has a very good history of building concrete bridges in his country. So we moved to Electoral District 4. We just dedicated a clinic in Bafigiatan. It's one of the notable homes of one of our foreign hero who served the country and served Liberia before. In fact, the first thing we were using, it was people private home. But since we took over under the leadership of President we were able to construct a clinic that had been dedicated. After the passage of the project will be in use because they have to put in furniture and other stuff in it. We didn't start in the same district number, Electoral District number 4, which is on President Willie District. We constructed a school. The school in that part of the place is Port River Stairs, Bon County, and Nima County. So it was only an elementary school. So when we went to the last county city, it was reserved at the county city that we construct a high school to elevate that school to a high school. So that have been done. It will soon be dedicated. And then in the same Electoral District 4, part administration were fighting to construct a bridge, and they call it Swagatan River Bridge. That bridge was never completed, and over $225,000 was used, and the bridge was not correct. It was not done. So when we took over, we were able to use less than the amount they used before that they couldn't do the bridge. We used them $147,000 to get that bridge done, and today the bridge was dedicated to our people. The Gobli High School being fenced now by the Asila Meta Community Development Fund, and we've been doing series of projects there. In Electoral District number 5, on the former Kokochia District, we just dedicated a clinic in Kokodere Town. It's been dedicated to the public. In fact, we're building a community hall that they requested for. So in fact, we dedicated the youth center that was constructed in Electoral District 5 when the president came on a county tour. A very modern health center. And where these projects are, Sekou, I can say this to you. There have been no government project there before to this location I just named. That's the reason why I'm calling the names of these places so you can verify for yourself. So when I heard that people said this government have not fulfilled each of the promises they made, I think it is laughable. Look at the Fairground Rule. Since 1847, you know that Grand Bassa County wrote the Declaration of Liberia. There were the three counties. It was Mosurado, Paso, and Sando County. Since 1847, we will have the unification pavilion. We will have the election commission office. We will have the city hall. There have been no paved road to that place. Today, when President Weah took over, he paved that road today. We are not. We no longer drive on the dust anymore. Okay. That place look at an administrative place now of the country. So what we've done in 5 years time in Grand Bassa County is unprecedented. In fact, I just followed the breaking news. We just broke ground for the construction of an oxygen plant. Okay. The same plant, the oxygen plant, the president just dedicated to Scarface. We just broke ground for that in 45 days, according to the contractor. It will be completed and dedicated. And I know the president of the Republic of Liberia will come to dedicate that because he knows that the health needs of our people cannot be overemphasized. So as I speak to you, there have been numerous developments. In fact, the president broke ground for the construction of the hospital. As soon as the funding comes, I think they're still negotiating with ArcelorMittal to also help in the direction. We'll be constructing a new modern hospital equated to what is in Boporu City as well, which is the Emery Hospital.
In Buchanan City.
Oh, yeah, in Buchanan City. Yeah, we broke ground for that already. We started some work, some mobilization work already on the ground. And as soon as the funding will come, we'll start the construction of that project. In fact, I was in Monrovia today. I went to meet with the Director General of the Rural and Renewable Energy Agency. I met with Director Joseph Tai. They have intimated to us that about March of this year they will be doing a tender of the bill for the distribution and transmission of our electricity grid in Buchanan City. But I pleaded with them that look, we are going to election our people. In fact, since 1990, there have been no electricity in Grand Bassa County. So based on the numerous crowds and of the people, then the substation is owned by the Transport LSG. Now they are being power grid there. So the only thing that remains in Grand Bassa County is to have the distribution and transmission. So right now they have concluded their deal, and they're just waiting for the Minister of Finance to sign the new MOU with the European Commission and the donors partner, so that they can start the distribution of transmission of electricity in Grand Bassa County.
Thank you so much, Superintendent Bakwe, for speaking with us. We hope to find time to come and verify some of the pieces of information you've provided us.
Oh, yes. Oh, let me say this. Anytime you're ready to come, you don't need to tell me. Just come. I will send people to. In fact, that's the reason why we are calling names of these towns and villages which these projects were constructed and are all of construction. So for us, we got nothing to hide. We do open budget initiative in Grand Bassa County, my dear brother.
Thank you so much. Can you confirm that you will be contesting the election in District Number 2, Grand Bassa?
I wouldn't do that until I consult the president, because the president appointed me to serve the people of Grand Bassa County as superintendent. Of course, people have petitioned me, but in a civil law, in a respectable world, what you can do is you accept the petition and take it to the office of the president and have consultation with the president. Mind you, I contested 2017. To contest may not be ruled out, but I have to do responsibility for the office of the president.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Superintendent Janje Bakwe of Grand Bassa County in conversation with us this evening. We will now do justice to the people of the 3 counties by going to our correspondents in those counties now to speak with them, starting with O.B. Smith in Bond County. I will now dial the number of O.B. Smith in Bond County to confirm some of the points we just took from Madam Esther Walker, Superintendent of Bond County. So, O.B., I know your phone is ringing now. Maybe you are listening to the show this evening. I hope you get ready as we go on looking at developments in the counties. We now go to Bond County. O.B. Smith, good evening. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. It's a pleasure having me this evening.
Okay. We just spoke with the superintendent of Bond County, Madam Esther Walker. Are you in Bond County now?
Yeah, I'm in Bond County currently. I'm here.
However, Pro-10 O.B. Smith.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Some of the issues, the development activities,
according to
the superintendent spoke of Banga Menikoma Road. According to her, that road is now paved, nearing completion. Can you confirm that? Have you been there before?
The Banga Menikoma road, I have traveled that road, and the last time I went to the Banga Menikoma road, at the time, pavement were around Belefanai.
Okay.
Yeah, Belefanai is in Zota district. So from that day, usually I travel that side and I stop around Wenshu. So I don't go further. I have not gone further from Wenshu for over a month now. So I can automatically tell you whether it have reached how many percent.
Okay.
But yes, the road construction, the Banga Menikoma road construction is ongoing because mind you, the guys when they started that road, they did not start from Banga. They went as far almost like a 2 or 3 minutes drive. They took the road from, so it was just recent. But when we asked some questions, they say it was due to some problem. But it is late, so they started doing from the Toka farm coming to Banga. So as we speak, the pavement is coming to Banga because I understand they pay some of the people who are selling, who have shop along the Lofa parking belt. So those people, their structure have been broken down, and the road is approaching. It's almost in Banga City. But I don't know how far it is. Yeah.
Okay. So we will go to the next one. Bong County Technical College, according to the superintendent, $900,000 was given by the president. That's President Weah, and the work is currently ongoing. Can you confirm or?
Yes, 900,000 was allotted to the Bong County Technical College. Yes, as we speak, there are work currently ongoing at the Bong County Technical College. Yes, that is confirmed.
Okay.
The work is currently ongoing there.
Okay, we are just touching basis, especially some of the major projects. So finally, because we have to go to other correspondents as well, finally, she spoke of the maternal mortality hospital. Is it in, I did not capture the main plate, but please, sorry, is it in Banga?
Are you talking about the CB Domba?
I think I did not get that, but actually she spoke of the maternal mortality hospital. But what's about, yes, it's CB Domba.
Yeah, we have just one maternity hospital here. That is the CB Domba hospital. Probably she may be talking about maternal waiting room somewhere. But we have just one maternal.
Yes, she was specific. That's the CB Domba.
Yes, CB Domba hospital. That is the only maternity hospital we got here.
Okay, so let's leave it as it is, because you also talked about the breaking of grounds for oxygen plant in Banga City. There, do you have any information concerning this?
Come again, breaking ground for what?
For oxygen plant.
Well, I've not heard about such groundbreaking.
Okay.
You know, Banga is a hotspot in terms of the what happened there, the daily happening. So when there are issues or such, we will be in the know. But I've not heard about any groundbreaking for any plane that is about to be built. I've not heard that.
Thank you so much for making time to speak with us on the program.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Obi Smith is our correspondent in central Liberia, to be specific, Bong County. We now cross over to the port city of Buchanan, Grand Bassa County, where we have Elton Tia. Elton will be confirming or telling us or denying. Is it denier? He's not the one that said it, so it's not a denier. But either he will be confirming some of the projects that the superintendent spoke of. Elton, I hope you'll pick your call. This is Voice of Liberia. We are running out of time, 5 minutes now. Let's now go to Grand Bassa County, where we have journalist Elton. Elton, please call your middle name. What is that name?
My name is Elton Wimby Tia. That's the name.
Oh. I like that middle name. Mr. Tia, tell us how is not Bong? How is Grand Bassa County this evening?
Well, Grand Bassa actually this evening is actually going through a little horrible mood as maybe a word just to bring you to speak quickly before you come to what he called me for. A motorcyclist allegedly jumped into the St. John River a week ago, and a vigorous search was made. Unfortunately, today, the decomposed, lifeless body was discovered floating over the St. John River, and families are all in, an awful mood right now. They are not, feeling good that they have found the lifeless body of their brother. Some of the young people who used to move with Justin, they are all feeling so sad at the moment. So it's just a sad evening in Grand Bassa.
Okay, I'm told that he was being chased by officers of the Drug Enforcement Agency.
Well, according to reports, the officers of the Drug Enforcement Agency allegedly, chased him on grounds that he was actually, carrying some illegal substance known as drugs. After they arrested a parcel of marijuana, commonly known as grass. But while they tried chasing him, they went toward the St. John Bridge. According to those officers, the late Justin allegedly jumped over the bridge and got into the St. John River.
Wow.
And that alone led to the burning down of the English police depot in St. John, and also the mini checkpoint that was built there by members of the joint security. And this actually sparked a serious concern of today, the decomposed body, and as I speak, families are now burying right now as we speak.
Okay, what a sad news. Let's hope that authorities there can handle that matter quickly before it goes out of hand. Well, we just spoke with the superintendent of your county, Grand Bassa, and he listed several projects being implemented by government. Firstly, he spoke of the district commissioner office that was constructed and dedicated in district number 1. Can you confirm that, sir?
Well, I want to give a little clarity. I don't know, but it's done under this government from the county social development fund.
Okay.
So if you say from the government, I agree that it's being done under the government, but it's being done.
Let's consider that because it's done under the administration of President Weah.
Yes.
Okay.
So I can confirm that.
Okay. The other one he spoke of is in district number 2, a bridge between Bong and Grand Bassa is nearing completion. According to him, the percentage is 60%. Do you have any information?
Of course, yes. I'm aware of the bridge. I visited it 2 weeks ago. They are working, but I think it have been a little hole on have been there for past days because they have said the government are releasing funding for now.
Okay. In the same district number 2, Grand Bassa County, Superintendent Janje Bape also spoke of the construction of a clinic, and he says now I think is nearing 70%.
Yes, that's true. They are actually constructing that as well, and it's nearing 70 to 80% as we speak.
Okay, lastly, before we can take leave of you, because we still have one correspondent and time is just running behind us. He spoke of the Doris Williams post page and the old folks home built by First Lady Claire Marie Weah. Do you have any information?
Well, I'm aware of the Doris Williams post and the plain page that the touch was provided under this government.
Okay.
And modern old folks home, I've toured it several times, was also constructed under this government. But sadly, that old folks home are not really been in use since it was constructed since 2018.
Okay. So finally, I did say finally first, but finally, was there any groundbreaking ceremony for the construction of an oxygen plant in Buchanan?
Okay, yes, they did that like 4 to 5 days ago. And as we speak today, I've visited the project. They have gone at most 20% of it. And we're told that in 45 days, it should be completed.
Thank you so much for speaking with us, Elton Wimby Tia.
Thank you so much for having me.
Did I get it?
You got it very right. You got it right.
Thank you so much. After the show, I'll call you for us to talk. You are doing great job there, great piece of job in Grand Bassa County. Well, I will try to establish contact with our final correspondent coming from Lofa County. Let's see whether we will get him. I tried calling him earlier, but his phone did not ring. I don't know whether he will be ready. Okay, let's see whether we can get him. But you're listening to issues of today on Voice of Liberia 104.1. Siku, what do you say? You signaling me from another.
No, I just want us to take few calls so we can
David Cole is yet
he's
to
just
come.
right beside us.
Oh, okay.
And he will soon join us. So we can take few calls on 07 70 907 907 0770 907 907. You listen to all the superintendents and also you listen to our correspondents.
And there is one good news coming from Grand Bassa County. Don't ask me why, because I have some link to Grand Bassa. When the superintendent spoke of the groundbreaking ceremony that took place for the construction of a modern hospital that will be maybe close to the Emirates Hospital that was constructed in Bapulu County.
That's very good.
That's a good news.
Okay,
well, let's take a few calls. Good evening.
Good evening, Sherry. How are you?
Yes, go ahead. Let's hear you.
Yeah, this is Mohammed Gitawa, one of the people the channel are connecting District 14 to the executive mansion. Yeah, thank you very much. And Seku Sherry, Lawa, always in the evening hour, we take our time to really tune to your station. You are doing great work for the Liberian people. Because people say in most of our country here, they say that the government are not doing nothing to impact the life of the Liberian people. But we called Basubu Tenant from their countries this evening, Seku Sherry, the work that you are doing in the country, continue to do this work. In the future, it will be there good for you. The next only government will come into power because it's not a full of time. He will just criticize and not praise that government or anything. For you to take your time as a balance and investigative journalist, you provide the information. God will continue to protect you and give you knowledge. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Another caller is on the line. Good evening. Thanks for joining us.
Good evening.
You are live, sir.
Thank you, Seko. This is the voice of Junior F. Diplo. And I joined this evening from my conference from District number 4, Moswado County.
Go right ahead.
I'd like to appreciate you for the opportunity and the time given to all to speak on national issues. Specifically, I want to speak on the issue of Lofa County, right, for the superintendent. We agree that developmental issue in Lofa County is gradually on a path. But let us be real. If we come to the national discourse to give information, it should be real, it should be factual.
What do you have to say contrary to what he said?
The fact of the matter is the real issue that he spoke on, right? I have been from Lofa County this PD. The road is by from Manga to Vonjima, the road is by. And I heard a superintendent speaking on this, right? Let us be real. Under this administration, there's little have been done when it comes to development. Most of the development that you see here, it was
listen now, you said, my man, Nana government starting, talking here. Government is continuity. That's a listed argument. Listen to me. What is it he said that you have a contrary view and you have facts to what you want to say?
What I'm speaking of is the real issue that he spoke on.
Okay, so what contrary to that real issue? What is it wrong that he said?
He said the road is in good condition. That which I'm different for it. The road is not in good condition.
But you listen to which one of the roads he mentioned?
He said the road from Manga to Menekoma, right? Or to Vonjema, right? You did not speak on that.
Go ahead. I'm listening to you.
No, I just want to he spoke on that. So most of the past government, the project you see, although that is government continuity, but they are taking the glory. But they don't want to say it is the past government that started this project.
Also, your only problem, we want to say past government.
It should be measured. If Seko do something in the studio, something in the studio, Seko should be measured. Right. He's the one that started this project, but they are not doing it. They are taking all it.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much. Let me take another person. Hello, go ahead.
I'm Joshua Father calling from the. Hello?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Joshua Father calling from the war room of the Revolutionary National President Voter of Liberia.
We are you.
Hello? You getting me?
Go ahead, Mama, you live.
Yeah, let me first extend my thanks and appreciation to John Bagbaye. You know, everything this government is doing, it is broad.
I mean, the mayor is a superintendent. Says superintendent. Jandu Babka. Don't say Jandu Babka. The mayor is
Honorable superintendent for enlightening us on some of the development that have been taking in that part of Liberia. In other part, I just saw and said, "Oh, the government has not done anything."
I mean, speak to the issue and leave the mayor alone. He has his right.
No, but we go for the issue, but when the issue is surrounding.
Okay, thank you, Bossman. We'll take another person. We have our guests here already. The assistant minister, so he's here. We just want to do some adjustment and have him live. Let's take this person. Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
My name is Bobby. I think to use.
Mm-hmm.
Hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, live.
Oh, I just want
Okay, let me take another person. You want to say big thank you, but I'm not getting what you're saying. Hello.
Hello, how you doing?
We're great.
I'm Finas calling from Street Finger.
Okay, then go ahead.
I'm to be honest, Uncle Sekou, I really appreciate you, talking or giving people, highlighting Liberians on the development of Liberia. But yes, though development is going on in Liberia, but also we need to look at the other aspect of life. Liberia as a whole, will be turning 176 years. But we ain't able to produce our own food. Instead, we have to go Guinea or other country just to import other goods or other products to feed our country. And it's supposed to be like that. Liberia is one of the oldest countries in.
Oh, she left the line. She was making very good point. Sorry, we're not taking calls again. We need to go. But she was making a very good point. You see, the calls are still coming. We don't have time. We have our guests here already, so we can, we have the assistant minister for technical services at the Ministry of Information, Culture Affairs, and Tourism. Minister David Kola is our guest tonight. And so we don't need to waste any time. We want to say good evening to you, Minister, and thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you, Sekou. It's a pleasure, and I want to say a very warm good evening to our listeners.
Okay.
I'm proud of what you've done here.
Okay.
This is my first time entering the studio. This is really magnificent.
This is one of the 3 studios.
Yeah.
So we have 3 broadcast studios.
So I saw the little beginning.
Okay.
And I knew definitely that it will have grown to what it is today.
So
thank you for all you've done.
Thank you too. At the Ministry of Information, you guys are doing extremely well, even though on many occasions we told that you've not been fully supported, but I don't want us to go into that.
Yeah, please.
Okay, how's the Ministry of Information, by the way?
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the invite. The Ministry of Information is very well. As a matter of fact, we some programs. We are focused on what the president is doing, what he's continuing to do throughout the country, from the health sector to the educational sector, to roads connectivity, to looking after doctors' welfare, looking after teachers' welfare. And we're grateful for what our president has been able to achieve over the last 5 years. So, as our statutory responsibility as a government information arm, we are doing our work. All of the functionaries of the Ministry of Information are working. The LINA, the Liberia News Agency, you see Director Kwame Weeks and his crew are always out there trying to feed the public with what we're doing. You also follow the New Liberia newspaper.
The newspaper that comes on once in a year.
No, that paper doesn't come out once in a year. That paper doesn't come out. It comes out 3 times a week.
Okay.
Why
is it 3 times? It's a government paper. Why is it not coming every day?
Yeah, you don't want to repeat articles and stories because we are not publishing anything else except what the government is doing.
Okay.
So everything that the government, for instance, if something happens on Monday, Tuesday will work for Wednesday.
Okay.
So if something happens on during the week, we work during the week for Monday and then Friday. So it's 3 times a week. And then the MICAT hour. The MICAT hour is this a 2 full hour program that the Ministry of Information runs on the state broadcaster here at BC. That MICAT hour we talk about, also the government's policies, and programs in a more open and broader. We also have our online platforms. The New Liberian newspaper has an online platform that we have our pages, the Ministry of Information page. And so the Ministry of Information is doing what it can do. We are doing our very best.
Okay, you guys are doing the very best. Let's take it one after another. I heard you talk about developments of the government, and you made mention of key areas. You talked about the education sector. You mentioned the issue about health, and you talk about roles. When you listen to the people in government, they are some of the things that they usually boast of. Let's go deep into roles connectivity. What
Well,
is it so much this government has done?
I like to first of all start. I like to talk about this sector by sector. I like to talk about first the educational sector.
Okay, you want to talk about the
Yes,
education? Okay.
the educational
So,
sector.
what is it new that we have in the educational sector that you think should be more praised than what you've mentioned?
Okay, first of all, when President Weah came to office in 2018, in his first 100 days deliverable, he outlined education as one of the key areas that the administration will look into. So what the president did within the first 100 days deliverable, the president announced two major policy shifts in the first 100 days in office, which should suggest to anyone that this president is serious about education. The University of Liberia had this manual registration process where you get up early in the morning, 4 a.m. in the morning. You have to put the rock down if you're not there to keep your space, and then for the registration process. The president, he's lived and he played professional football out of Liberia and in Europe. The process to get registration in other parts of the world is not that difficult. So the president instructed the Minister of Finance, Development Planning, Minister Twe, to allocate $500,000 to ensure that the registration process at the state-run university is digitized. And so the president, that process was
Is
done.
that functional of the president?
It is functional up to present because you do your registration online, you see your grade sheet online, and everything. You don't have to go and get in the queue to get that done. So that was the first thing the president did at the state-run university. The second one the president did was to announce not just for the state-run university, but all other colleges across the country, all other colleges in Lima, in Lofa, in Bong, in Grand Bassa, all other colleges that they are going to be tuition free. That tuition waiver program, according to the president of the University of Liberia, saw a 70 to 80% increase in enrollment at the state university. So that was a relief for parents. That was a relief for students who were paying their own fees, and so it was something that we need to commend the president for. Aside from that, the president also announced that the government was paying all WACs and WAEC fees. Back in 12th grade, you would have to go to your parents and tell them beforehand that it was time to pay the WAS and the WIFE fees. It was a big deal.
Okay.
So that chunk of money that the government is using, to pay the WAS and WIFE fees, around $12 million for students, is relieving parents of that economic burden.
Okay.
So in the educational sector, President Weah scored a very high mark in the educational sector. He's been able to not to do business. It's not business as usual, because you have to look down at the people that attend the UL. This is not a private university. The people that attend the UL are the children the children of the peasant, the market women. My mother was cutting potato greens to be able to just make me a meal.
Okay.
You know, she was cutting potato greens to make me a meal whenever I came from school to have something to eat. So I could not go to my mother.
Okay.
I mean, with additional burden. So a parent like my mother, like a single mother who's looking after two boys, but had to look for that WAS fees. President Weah has removed that burden from parents. He's removed the burden from young students who are in the UL, from young people who are in colleges, state-run colleges all across the country. So
Someone may say that is just one component of improving the educational sector and all of those. Another one is about the quality of education that the people get. What is the president doing in that direction aside from just paying WAS fees and so forth?
Okay, first, okay, so there were like 2,500 volunteer teachers when we came to office that were not on the government's payroll. So what President we had did to motivate these people so that they put in more time and they are regular on campuses all across the country, the government immediately put on the payroll 2,500 volunteer teachers all across the country. In Bond County alone, there were 500 volunteer teachers that were added to the government payroll. People that were making 4,000.
How does that help?
It helped because these people were not putting in time.
Okay.
So the quality of the delivery of the lessons they were giving was not, these guys would go to do their other private things and they would not be serious about, the public school, providing lessons for the public school. So when the president put them on the payroll, increased their salary to something that would commensurate, with the requirement that a professional should have, they were motivated. It created motivation, and there was a trickle-down effect on the learning environment. The last result of the WAS and the WIAC came back with around 82% pass. That was a voter phase. That tells you that because of what the president did, all of the interventions from the president has seen some results. And the president also, aside from that, was taking care of the extra classes. The extra classes, it cost some money for 12 graders and also 9th graders.
Okay, so that is education. Remember, you have the NIMO report, and most of you from the CDC supporters of the coalition of democratic change. You've hugely criticized that report, but I can tell you for sure that NAMBO is one of the credible institutions in Liberia, even recognized by the government of the United States of America. Okay, so
I'm not done with education. I'm not done with education. I still got a lot more to talk about education.
Yeah, quickly, because we have other things to talk about. Okay. Yes, please.
Okay, so aside from that, the president also authorized the Ministry of Education to renovate all multilateral high schools across the country to TVET level, technical vocational educational level. So it is not just like a regular, system anymore. When you went to Lofa County today, the Lofa County, the Vonjama Multilateral High School has been upgraded. It is finished. It is going to be dedicated in April this year. Work is finished. In Sino County, it has been upgraded to a TVET level. All of the multilateral high schools across the country have been elevated from multilateral, not just the regular high school, to a more technical vocational training program for students who is going to be like a parallel thing.
How can we confirm that?
I mean, it's all over. You can call.
Is it on is it on the Ministry of Information?
It's on my page.
A web page, your page,
it's on my it's on Mika page. It's also on my page.
All right.
You can.
I'm trying to go there now.
Yeah, you can go there. You can go there and see. So all of the interventions from the Ministry of Education, have so far led to what we see. The improvement in the educational system.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that we leave it as it is and go to. I'm coming because we will do it step by step. You've addressed the educational component of it. we will talk about development, specifically infrastructure development. So far, what can you say? What can you point out to as concrete achievements of your government, your president, President Weah, some of those achievements in the infrastructure area?
Okay, so when you look at our country and when you look at the way the country was structured, past governments had, a lot of burden, economic burden on the state. When President Weah came to office,
But you saw it as a political party and told the people you were going to solve it. That's the
which is
reason.
why we were able to solve some of the challenges.
Some
Which is why we were able to solve some of the challenges. The challenges this country face are enormous.
that I know.
We acknowledge the we are cognizant. We are cognizant of the enormity of the challenges this country face. When President Weah came to office, one of the things he did was to remove the burden from the state
Okay.
when it comes to government renting, private owners, properties all across the country.
Okay.
Now,
What are some of those properties? You want to name some?
the LPRC, for instance,
Okay.
President Weah completed that.
Okay.
The National Port Authority, President Weah completed that.
Okay. That's continuity in government.
Yeah, which is why I'm saying the
Okay.
LPRC, President Weah completed that.
Yes.
The Maritime Authority,
Okay.
President Weah completed that.
All right.
The National Security Agency, President Weah completed that.
All right.
The Ministry of Agriculture move out. The Ministry of Gender move out. So the government is moving and reducing the burden from the state
Okay.
and trying to do some savings. Because, mind you now, before we came to office, the Ministry of Health had like 12,000 health workers.
Okay.
Right? The government was, all of the health workers, the government of the day was not funding the budget of paying doctors and nurses. It was our international partners paying around something like $12 million a year.
Okay.
When the government came to office, doctors were making $700. President Weah, and the key actors, the Ministry of Finance, everyone sat and said, listen, doctors are saving lives. They cannot be making $700. What can we do to motivate them?
Okay.
Doctors' salary were removed from $700, and they are now making $2,000. This is verifiable.
Okay.
You can call them.
That I know. That I know.
They are making $2,000.
Right.
Aside from that, the president also sent. Okay, I shouldn't rush to health.
Okay.
So I'm just saying, basically, so the president removed the burden from the state by constructing some key landmark buildings
and completing
most
of them
completed. Completed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's go on.
Aside from that, when you look, like I enumerated in the educational sector, there are new school buildings.
Okay.
$58 million was allocated for the construction of 24 new school infrastructure, upgrading them to the level.
Okay.
Also, new roads constructed by the Weah administration, 633 kilometers of road.
Okay.
Aside from the one the Weah administration completed, which now put our total road network to 283 kilometers of road.
Most of those roads, according to people who have seen it, and in fact have been at some of, especially the feeder roads, you see the potholes are there. Are there roads that we can count as projects? As projects, you want to go Batnaville, you say what, Patience Shop or around there? There are potholes. So can we say those are concrete projects that we can reference?
You come from River G County.
Okay.
You go to Maryland County. That stretch was completed by the Weah administration.
Okay.
It is a concrete project that was completed.
All right.
Farm to Market Road done all throughout the country are projects that were completed by the Weah administration.
Okay.
Roads today passing through places that were dejected and neglected for more than a century. For instance, like the Clarendon Community Road.
Political project.
It is not. It is not a political project.
Okay.
Those people are part of the lowest echelon of the society. These people were denied, abandoned, and dejected by the state. When President we are living in the slum, coming from the slum himself, knowing the challenges he faced, living in Gibraltar and playing football in Clarendon, Dole community. What the President we are do? President we as part of his initial intervention was to make sure that these people have a befitting role. That bridge that all of us used to cross and go to Dole community, when it's raining, you get in the water and you get soaked in the water. That bridge was constructed by President Weah. Then President Weah moved to Popo Beach. The Popo Beach community, there was an incident that took place. Around, I think, 10 to 15 homes got burned, got up by fire. What did President Weah do? He gave them 90 houses. When you go to the new sports park, the Invincible Sports Park, those people were living in shanties. They were living in huts. Those people were using that sports park property that will have the sports park on, that people go to enjoy themselves today. They were using it to defecate. President Weah did not just give them a home, he gave them a furnished home, he gave them a finished product. So aside from that, President Weah went to Nuku Town. The sea erosion was coming in and destroying the D12 property. It was about to swallow that D12 property. A coastal defense project was initiated, completed. That side of the country is saved. There is an ongoing
just a tip of the iceberg.
There is an ongoing coastal defense.
You want to allude to that? That is a tip of the iceberg.
It's not a tip of the iceberg. These homes, the Nuku Town, for instance, got more than 50,000 residents.
There are lots and lots of places being affected by the sea erosion.
So if you went there and you stop the sea from invading the land, it means you've done something. There is an ongoing coastal defense project in Sino County. There is one taking place in West Point. Right? There is one taking place in PHP, where the park is being constructed. Another park is being constructed. That park is going to be ready hopefully in April. So I'm telling you that all of the people that did not feel the development, package of the past governments are beginning to feel this government is making intervention in the lives of people.
Can we say all of the promises you made during your campaign time and also your policy documents and the rest of those promises made, during speeches like the State of the Nation address. Can we say you've achieved up to maybe
you can
20 to 30% of those promises?
You can quote the NAMO report.
Do you trust that report?
You can quote the NAMO report forever. I'm not here to discuss the NAMO report.
So what can you say relative to the question I just asked? How can you grade yourself?
President Weah has scored over the last 5 years. He's achieved more than 90% of what he promised the people. Let me tell you why.
Do you still? Yes, I know you will go there, but do you still stand by what you normally say? That President Weah, with all of the other presidents combined, has done well, as compared to them?
No, I cannot say President Weah has done well, more than all the other presidents combined. What I can say...
Some of your folks have said that.
What I can say, what President Weah has achieved within the limited time, with the fiscal envelope he has, say, what he has achieved so far with the fiscal envelope he has been able to achieve more. President Weah came at a time when the world was literally going into recession. The COVID pandemic rattled the world. Economists, strong economists, the British economy, the US economy, people lost more than 200 million jobs. More than 200 million jobs all across the world. During COVID, our economy was growing by 3%. When we were faced with a soaring inflation rate in this country, the guys were on Facebook, they were calling the inflation, they were calling, Liberia Johnson, they were calling the inflation rate. Barnaby Johnson, it was like people were making mockery of the government. But Minister Twe always says that the government had to do the heavyweight lifting at the beginning of the administration so that we are able to reap the dividends. When you look across the region today, most of our neighbors are suffering economic shocks. You know why? Because our government was able to put into place rigid and strong policy measures that has been able to guide the government. For instance, the wage bill was around 295,000.
Okay.
And 295 million. The wage bill today is around 276 million.
Okay.
So that extra that the government was spending was coming from recurring costs.
How is that impacting the citizens?
It is
right
impacting
now?
the citizens because a young man who's going to go take WAS tomorrow does not need to call his mother to say, "Mommy, please pay my WAS fees."
Okay.
It is impacting the citizens today when health workers who are being paid by our international partners are now being paid by the government.
Okay.
It is impacting the state today when University of Liberia students that are attending the University of Liberia and other colleges across the country do not have to worry about tuition. That's how it's impacting the people. It's impacting the people when you look across the former IE playground, which is an invisible park today. When you see those homes, you see those people living in modern homes. That's how it's impacting the people. If you went to a Grand Cru, for instance, in Barkerville,
yes,
if you went to a Grand Cru, 187 housing units for people that were living in huts. That's how impacting the people.
Okay.
Go to Grand G there. 100
let
housing
me
units.
Let me come in. You know, I know you don't want to speak to the issue that has to do with NAMOD, but trust us, we are quoting the report, the fifth report released by NAMOD. I just want to read a line or two. The fifth edition of the report captures 292 promises. I know, obviously, you guys will try to beat around it and don't want to
The
speak
president,
to the
let me
issue.
tell you for the record, before you read that, let me just tell you something for the record. President, we are only made during his campaign one campaign promise.
And what was
he will
that
make
promise?
education free. He said during his campaign, he said he will make education free.
Okay, so
has he done that?
So let's come.
Has he done
let's
that?
come to the 4 pillars. Since indeed,
has he done that?
What does your parliament, your policy document say?
Has he made education free?
What does your policy document say? The PAP.
He has made education free.
What does your policy document say?
He has
the
made
4
education
pillars.
free.
So let me just read this because I'm just hearing this. It's a news to me that the president just made
you don't know that?
promise, just a promise. Now, the fifth edition of the report captures 292 promises from the president's Coalition for Democratic Change manifesto of 2017. Speeches delivered. Listen, speeches delivered during the 2017 presidential election, the president's inaugural address, the annual messages to the legislature, presidential priority projects, and the government's flagship development agenda, the PAPD. These are documents NAMO is quoting that brought about promises made by President Weah. So even if you are trying to discuss the one promise made during 2017, there are a lot of them, 292 of them, or 291
there was no
that have
such
not been
thing.
made.
There was no such thing of 292 promises made.
Does it mean that you don't
There
trust
was no
this report?
such promise made. I did not come here to talk about the NAMOD report.
But then you
I
are saying
came to articulate the government's policies and program and the progress President Weah has made over the last 5 years.
there is a
The
report on your
NAMOD
government.
report is for the NAMOD people to speak to. I'm here to speak for the government.
So you don't trust the
I
report?
do not speak to the NAMOD report. I do not work for NAMOD. I do not know the details of that report. I work for the state, sir. I work for the state. I work for the state.
David, it's only prudent to just say a yes or no. Do you trust the
I
NAMOD
do
report?
not speak to the. I did not come here to speak to the NAMOD report. That's simple. I'm here to speak for the state. I'm working for the state. I'm a communication person for the state. The NAMOD report is for the NAMOD people to read. The Liberian people are having the impact of what President Weah has done over the last 5 years.
You scared?
We speak to that.
You scared?
No, I'm not scared. I'm here to speak to what the president has done.
Okay. David Fuller is here with me in studio. I know. At times, provided you have the opportunity or you are given the green light to speak to some of these issues, that's the time you will speak. Assistant Minister at the Ministry of Information, David Colette, is in studio talking about government policies, what they've achieved, and what they can do. Let's go to some of the issues that are some of the things that you've not been able to, achieve, like connecting most. Because I listened to President Weah during his campaign. Because I'm saying it's news to me to tell me today that President Weah only made one promise. I followed the campaign closely when President Weah said he will build roads, and roads. There are many county capitals today. They are not, connected. Can we say the president has done well in that particular area?
There are county capitals that are connected. There are some county capitals which are not connected.
Some are not.
There are some.
Most of them.
There are some county capitals which are not connected.
Okay.
There are some which are connected.
Okay.
The first thing is that our fiscal envelope is tight. The way we allocate resources will be on priorities basis because we are running a cash-based budget.
Mm-hmm.
When we collect money, we take the money and put it to projects to try to complete those projects.
Okay.
We're not having money and keeping the money and don't want to do projects.
Okay.
So one of the things that President Weah did is a volatile phase for our monetary regime was that President Weah stopped the central government from borrowing from the CBL.
Okay.
Before Madam Sirleaf came to office as president, the Judy Bryan administration had grown our central bank reserve to $340 million.
Okay.
When Madam Sirleaf was leaving office, she left $160 million. The president came to office. Do you know why they left $160 million? Because they were borrowing money from the CBL to pay salaries. When we came to office, President, we have placed a moratorium on the borrowing of money from the CBL to pay salaries. Borrowing money from the CBL to carry on any kind of project. What our fiscal managers did was to cut down our recurrent expenditure or those expenditures that we did not need. For instance, trash card. I'm an assistant minister. We don't get trash card. I'm an assistant minister. We don't get gasoline.
Okay.
We cut not just the trash card and the gasoline. Salaries were cut from assistant ministers, deputy ministers, and the president himself cut his salary by 25%. All of those savings cannot be some additional burden for the government. It cannot be an additional burden for the state.
Okay.
The president said we can use all of these, not for trash card, not for gasoline. We can use that money to fund the University of Liberia so our children can go to school free.
Job
we can
creation.
use some of that money.
We have other issues to talk about. Job creation. What can you say?
Most of the jobs that were created during the Weah administration were in the informal sector. The informal sector, when we came to office, the private sector, ArcelorMittal had already been giving out. There is no other mine called Yekepa mine somewhere that the government needs to give out. The BHP Billiton has already been giving out.
Okay.
The China Union has already been giving out. All of the major concessions were already giving out. What the government did when we came to office was to give many Liberian contractors contract to do roads so that will create additional jobs for young people. So when people come from school, they don't have to worry on how they're going to improve their skills. People go to vocational schools and technical schools. When you look across the country, feeder roads, community roads, farm to market roads, all of those, most of those roads.
What is the percentage of young people that were informally employed or given job, if you may?
I cannot speak to the percentage of young people, but I know a significant percent of young people who had gone to vocational school, who are getting skills, were given jobs in the informal sector. Additionally, the private sector is thriving. It's doing very well. The private sector, for instance, ArcelorMittal reported that, LRA reported that ArcelorMittal is one of the highest taxpayer.
Okay.
It means that business is going on. So when those things are happening within the private sector, businesses are going. President, we have just authorized $3 million to be given to to small and medium business owners, and those people are doing their businesses. So what we need for our country is to add value to most of the products that we're exporting. President Weah has been championing that. When you look at the facility, the steel plant that Jetty has, President Weah was at that program and he was able to inaugurate that program. Jetty is Liberia is going to be one of the largest exporter of steel because we got the raw material.
Okay.
So we are creating jobs not within the government. Most of the focus has been create job within the government. The focus should be the private sector. That is what the president has been doing.
Okay, so specifically, according to you, government is providing job in the informal sector.
Informal and the private sector to ensure that the private sector is strong.
When do we get to see people in the informal sector being given jobs?
But they are getting jobs. I mean, when the hotel is running, the man that is there as a receptionist, the person that is there cleaning up, that's it. I mean, no, I'm telling you, if somebody, listen,
let's be sincere here.
if somebody is constructing a road, for instance, if somebody is constructing a road, the RRA road, the RRA road, there are two companies on that road doing that road.
Okay.
They have hired all Liberians except for the technical side of the work. The road from here, the junction to go to Coca-Cola factory, they have hired all Liberians.
We're discussing millions of young people in this country.
No, we're not going to millions of young people. It is not possible in any country, sir. It is not possible. There are 97 million people in the US. Take your phone, Google it, who have lost their jobs.
What's the percentage? That's why I keep asking you. You don't know. You don't have the numbers at your fingertips.
Yeah, I don't have the numbers, but I'm telling you that a significant amount of young people are employed within the informal sector.
I like
and
your choice of words. Significant.
Yeah, they are doing their job. And look around you. During the early administration, what did you see? Motorbike riders were being chased.
But today you have the boys using the microphone with the buy your scratch card, and is that some of the informal jobs?
That's self-employment.
Really?
That's self-employment.
How much do they take home?
That's self-employment.
How much do they take home at the end of the day?
For instance,
is it part of your informal employment?
If you have, sir, people are creating capacity, are creating jobs for themselves. When you go and say, when they ask you, what do you do?
That job?
If you sell in a shop,
you consider that job
because they're getting income. You don't know? Really? Of course, they're getting income. When you sell in a shop, for instance, you're a bartender in a shop, right? And the shop is owned by you. What are you? Are you employed or not employed? You are employed. So if he's selling a scratch card, what's wrong about selling scratch card? There is dignity in self-labor. So he's finding food for his family. What's wrong in that? So the state.
How long are they going to be in such conditions?
Sir, the state is not going to provide job for every single Liberian. There is no country on this planet that the state will provide job for
David
everyone.
Kole, let me go to another one because time is not in our favor. The news comes up at 9 o'clock. The president addresses the nation on Monday. There are a couple of issues left undone. Promises he made. I was trying to locate my document somewhere. I didn't get it. You have too many files in your phone, so I wasn't able to give you the stats. Okay, but there are too many things left undone. I remember 2022 when the president addressed the nation. He spoke of economic progress, some of the issues you alluded to, and also made some promises telling the Liberian people the space under my administration will still remain peaceful as we go toward elections.
It is peaceful.
And of course, we will make sure that we provide jobs, we create the enabling environment for people, to take home some good money. It might not be a fat salary, all of those. Now, he goes back to the legislature on Monday to give his final State of the Nation address. What are some of those issues you think the president would speak to?
Okay, the president is going to talk about the humongous reform within the monetary regime of the country. He's going to talk about the stability of the state, economic stability of the country. He's going to talk about the financial stability of the country. When you look across West Africa, Inflation rate in Nigeria is 20.9%.
Okay.
Inflation rate is 29%. Inflation rate in the Ivory Coast, I want to check and verify the information I'm giving you. Inflation rate in the Ivory Coast is around 17.87%.
Okay.
Now, when you come to Liberia, we had a whopping inflation rate of 31.7% in 2019 and the earlier part of 2020. This government, fiscal prudence, was able to take inflation rate from double digits to single digit. 6%.
Okay.
Now, what that speaks to is that what did you do for inflation to reach to 6%? You had to look at different factors and different sectors of society.
Okay.
So the government was able to score when it comes to the fiscal regime of the country.
Okay.
The second thing the government scored was the monetary regime of the country. There was a shortage of Liberian dollars in the market.
So you are
because
basically saying that the president will speak about the
he's going to
state
speak
of the economy.
He's going to speak about the state of the economy.
Okay.
The next area is the monetary regime of the country. Our monetary regime was challenged during the earlier part of the WI administration. What happened was that most of the money was mutilated and there was a demand for more money on the market. Oftentimes, you will see there was like shortage of Liberian dollar on the market. The president promised.
Is the money actually on the market?
The money is on the market. The president promised that he was going to fix that. 48 billion Liberian dollars was printed, including 500 denomination notes and 1,000 plus coins were brought in to make sure that the liquidity problem the state was facing, it does not face.
Okay.
So the president is going to speak to that as well.
Okay.
The president is also going to speak about our freedom of speech in press space. Today, not a single journalist is in jail because he wrote a story. We do not have a political prisoner. The president was able to ensure that a law repealing the decree A was repealed so that nobody can go to jail for speech offenses.
Okay.
The president also ensured that the country is safe. The police budget was taken from $75 million to $96.8 million.
Will the president also speak to corruption?
The president is definitely going to speak to corruption, the reform in the corruption, in the fight against corruption.
What are the practical steps?
The practical steps the president took to make sure that the law creating the LSCC was repealed. He does not want the power to appoint the LSCC boss. He does not want that power he wants the power to be with the national legislature, civil society actors. Those people should vet anyone that is becoming the LSCC boss and all other anti-graft institutions. We've given more money to the GSE than any other government before us. Check the budget.
Okay. So we will stop it right there. I know you want to speak shortly about elections. You go to elections this year. What are your chances?
Elections are going to be happening in a free, fair, and transparent environment.
That's what we anticipate.
That's what's going to happen. And President Weah is going to get another mandate from the Liberian people. You know why? Because
I know that would have been obvious.
President Weah is going to get.
That's what you were going to say.
President Weah is going to get another mandate from the Liberian people because you know why? This president's activities all across the country is shifting and creating shakes within the regular political infrastructure, the regular political ecosystem of Liberia. When you look in Lofa County today,
after you did not complete 2/3 of your promises,
when you look in Lofa County today,
you think you can be re-elected.
When you look in Lofa County today, there is a 4.3 megawatt dam that is being constructed aside from the hydropower that the CLSG line that is going to reach to Lofa County. There is the completion of an ongoing 4.3 megawatts power transmission being hydropower plant being done in Lofa County. If you went to Vaunjema, if you went to Kolahun today, there are infrastructure there.
So you'll be re-elected.
For there are infrastructure there for the citizens to enjoy.
Okay.
If you went to Wenku, if you went to Lokatua today, the road from Sanikode to Lokatua is being completed. The road from Ganta to
Sakete, a question
of
whether
course,
you will be
we are
re-elected.
going to be re-elected. We are going to get another mandate for the Liberian people. This is a resounding yes.
Finally, before we can go to the line, David, on the scale of 1 to 10, I want us to, act as though we're just having an informal conversation. We're not on radio whatsoever. And then I pose this question to you. On the scale of 1 to 10, 8. 8. Are you real?
It is sounding 8.
You're not being realistic.
It is sounding 8. I should say 88. I should say 88 because we still got some. I should say 8.8, right? But because we still got some projects to dedicate, so we're waiting to dedicate those projects, and I would say I'm 8.8.
David, 8?
I would say 8.8.
When you just achieve just one component of your PAPD
The
document,
the NAMO report is not for the Liberian people.
Who is it for?
The NAMO report is for NAMO to read. The Liberian people are having the impact of what this president has done.
Is it that the report speaks to some of the facts that are in the
I
country?
just articulated what the woman, Ma Walkley in Carrolltown, whose son is in St. Mary Catholic School, and they're going to watch.
Ma
Walkley.
The Liberian people are reading and listening to, the report. From there, they are going to make the adjustment.
Our traditional leaders have 15. They have 15.
Let's go to the phone lines.
15 the other day.
0770-907-907-907. I know people are on the internet. Our people, they have their phones. They are listening. All of those. Let me take my very first caller. Good evening. Thanks for joining us.
Good evening.
You are live.
Thank you. Ed
Quickly, go ahead.
I like to laugh at the minister. I think it's laughable and it is disgracing for a minister to try and give true information to the Liberian people. I'm a student of the University of Liberia. I'm doing political and mass communication at the University of Liberia. When it comes to essential and material aid at the University of Liberia, is very much tedious. We just have to do our courses online. It is fortunate for the minister to go to live.
We'll stop it right there. You will respond to him, please.
Of course, I will respond.
Good evening.
Good evening.
1 minute. This is Emmanuel. Go ahead.
Okay, Emmanuel.
Go ahead, Chief.
You have to be serious and be sincere to Liberian people. If I were a son, can you allow me to film minutes? What we made and we can allow to run Muru Park? You know how many Muru Park are on the street? If your son said for even 5 years, what will he achieve? He will not go to school. Muru Park, no Muru Park. There's no job opportunity to do. So stop lying to Liberian people.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for calling. Another caller is on the line. We will take a few more calls and go back to the minister to respond, and then we call it a day. Good evening. Hello, you are live. You have 1 minute.
Hello, how are you?
We fine, thank you. Go ahead.
This is John Famule from Farwell.
Go ahead, Mr. Famule.
Besides the 15.
We're listening.
I want to tell the students thank you for what all you said.
Mm-hmm.
But my frustration part there is that the minister, all what you asking, he did not effort none.
Okay.
And he's unable to even answer it. So waiting for a president to come and answer the questions that you're giving him.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, you are live.
Yeah, thank you very much. This was a joy. I'm calling you from Flowers.
Quickly, Mr. Bina.
not being listened to the honorable well given. Well given. Maybe they tell the people who just for I don't know what I related on that. But for me, I listen to the minister. But it's fine for me that I know what the minister is there. He said all and he answered all the questions that you just asked him.
Okay.
And he was not even giving any chance for you to just, ask the question what he not even able to answer. You were able to answer all the questions.
Thank you so much. I will take just 2 more callers and then go back to the minister. Good evening.
Good evening.
You are live.
This is Mohammed Ikawa, one of the defendants that connected this to the executive party.
It's in your minute already.
Yeah, thank you very much. If you cut me off, as long as you give me my problem,
please go ahead quickly.
Yeah, I want to commend the product in the studio there, and because most of the time the people say the government are doing nothing. But for them to come and unveil on some of the things the government are doing in the interest of the Labour people, I want to commend you people. And the next time you come in, I'm not to plan a job statistic for the government.
Thank you. Thank you so much too. My final caller. Hello, welcome.
Hello.
You are live.
Yeah, I'm joining you to
Go ahead, Chief.
Yeah, I want to please ask this whether you know Ghana to CDP. When tested that for Ghana to CDP is complete. The road from Ghana to CDP is not complete.
No, I did not say so, sir.
From Ghana to Ban. You jump forward to the way. I mean, you skip up, you went from Florida. Just that, it not complete. So it's complete. Now,
thank you so much. Our final caller. Well, Mr. Kohler, you listen to
Yeah.
the callers.
Let me just speak to the last caller. Thank you for calling. The road from Ganta to Sakipie is ongoing. I said to you that if you went to Nima County, the road from Sanikode to Logato is ongoing. The road from Ganta to Sakipie is ongoing. The president, our government, was able to secure $128 million to reach the road as far as Toll Town. So that road is not just going to stop in Tapeta, it's going to go beyond Tapeta all the way to Town. The road is ongoing and the road is not complete, but portions of the road have already been paved.
Okay.
So let me speak to the other brother who called about the UL.
Just
about,
1 minute.
Yeah, about the UL thing. The University of Liberia, the president announced a tuition-free policy. He did not say people should not buy their own paper on campus to be able to print their material. The president provided a tuition-free policy. That's what the government is pursuing. We are providing the funding to ensure that the tuition-free policy is continuing and all of our people are benefiting from the tuition-free policy.
In 20 seconds, you want to wrap up quickly?
Yeah, I just like to thank you for the invitation. I'd like to thank all of the callers and our listeners all across Liberia. Your government, your president is going to work in your interest. He's continuing what he started, and he's going to make sure that every sector of the society benefits from the government.
Thank you so much, David Kohler, Assistant Minister for Technical Services at the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism, for joining us tonight. My name is Emmanuel Davis. On behalf of the entire team here, we'd like to wish you well and thanks for joining us. The news is up next. Bye-bye.